Su Xing pondered for a while. Considering that he was going to Black Turtle Temple for the sake of Zhang Yuqi, if at this time he established Queen Jingluan as a powerful enemy, clearly that was outside of consideration. Su Xing actually felt indifferent, but by implicating the white stripe in the waves, he was somewhat letting her down. Su Xing retreated as he battled, still preparing to break free of this single-horned Pishio beast. But how could the single-horned Pishio beast be so easily shaken off? Originally, when Su Xing captured the New Heavenly Phoenix, he needed to borrow the power of Lady Snake Scorpion. Confronting this sort of monster by himself, Su Xing was very pressured. A green wind blade shot out of the single-horned Pishio beast's mouth. At such a close distance, the wind blade pierced through Su Xing's head, but that was an afterimage. Su Xing used Wandering the Clear Skies, and his movements were already fast enough to make the wind blade's speed incapable of catching up. Bang! A bolt of purple thunder struck, and the single-horned Pishio beast roared. Su Xing seized this chance to withdraw, activating an escape technique. The single-horned Pishio beast's chi flame transformed into a sharp sword, attacking Su Xing like tens of thousands of copper needles. Su Xing was amazed to sweep his gaze over the minute wounds on his body. The demon beast in front of him was more difficult to shake off than he had imagined. An existence approaching that of a holy beast, he thought things would not be very simple. Su Xing actually was even more curious about that Queen Jingluan, to be able to possess a star beast that had never before appeared in the star beast list. It seemed her background was not small. The single-horned Pishio beast flung its horn. The airflow around this single-horned Pishio beast continuously twisted. Its gold-like eyes flickered, and with a bellow, the single-horned Pishio beast once again scuttled, blending together with the air. Under the shelter of the airflow, it even could reach a stage where its breathing completely disappeared. Without its breathing, it seemed to be like air. Su Xing felt his head ache. Passing through this brief probe, Su Xing more or less knew the characteristics of the single-horned Pishio beast. It possessed tyrannical close-range attacks and superb concealment skills. In the sky, the single-horned Pishio beast practically was a tiger that had grown wings. Its speed was too quick, and Gong Sun Huang's star magic lost its usefulness. It seemed that he had found a terrible place. Su Xing thought to himself. Immediately, he quickly retreated backwards, not knowing which was more powerful compared to the New Heavenly Phoenix. Su Xing muttered to himself, his figure flying inverted, leaving several dozen li away from Yellow Crane Island. However, he was worried that Queen Jingluan would pursue, so Su Xing did not dare yet allow the New Heavenly Phoenix to emerge. He stroked his chin, narrowing his eyes. But there was a slamming sound. The single-horned Pishio beast pounced and was impeded by Gong Sun Huang's star magic. "Little Huang, let's go," Su Xing called. The two tread on clouds, directly flying. The single-horned Pishio beast pursued them relentlessly. Its figure could be vaguely seen in the clouds, its speed abnormally quick. The horn's green light appeared. The airflow in the sky rapidly flowed, like a sharp sword. The single-horned Pishio beast did not have the patience to wait so long. It quickly launched an attack on Su Xing's back. The attack of wind was absolutely quick, but the single-horned Pishio beast landed on nothing. Su Xing's body techniques made the single-horned Pishio beast surprised. Those body techniques were illusory, and he easily avoided its attack. Su Xing turned around, forming a hand seal. 12 flying swords shot out, and not surprisingly, they were trapped by the single-horned Pishio beast's wind net. The single-horned Pishio beast roared in a rage. That chi flame constantly changed, interwove, concentrated, and thundered. "Your Highness!" Gong Sun Huang cocked her head, once again pondering if she should call forth the New Heavenly Phoenix. "Wait a little longer," Su Xing answered, the heaven-tearing flying swords in protection. He continuously blocked each and every one of the single-horned Pishio beast's attacks. This star beast basically was incapable of harming him. Let alone attacking, just approaching Su Xing was not that easy. Su Xing had originally wanted to thereby whittle away the single-horned Pishio beast's endurance. How could he have foreseen that this star beast was untiring? Now that the heaven-tearing flying swords were beginning to sustain damage, Su Xing sighed and nodded. Gong Sun Huang's red star crest flashed. A mad gale and heavenly fire burned. Hiss! An emotional phoenix cry. The entire sky rolled with red clouds, and the gorgeous and graceful new heavenly phoenix flew out. The single-horned Pishio beast was shaken, stopping its threatening gestures. The roaring gale stopped the new heavenly phoenix's magnificence. A dazzling ray of light blinded them. The light unexpectedly made the single-horned Pishio beast's protective chi flame vanished. The single-horned Pishio beast let out a low roar. Gong Sun Huang pointed. Phoenix dances 9 days. In no more than an instant, the new heavenly phoenix suddenly launched its attack. From the speed of that instant, Su Xing still was quite gratified, for the new heavenly phoenix was not slow. Although the single-horned Pishio beast's stormy chi flame had vanished, it appeared to be wielding some other uses for it. Its robust body clearly supported pressure that exceeded its limits. Its movement seemed small, even the slightest movement difficult. However, this sort of difficulty lasted only an instant. As far as the single-horned Pishio beast was concerned, this was not enough. Its body fluttered in the sky. The new heavenly phoenix's talons already grabbed the single-horned Pishio beast's skull, scorching heavenly fire immediately rolling across its whole body rapidly. The broiling flames already engulfed it. Tit for tat, the single-horned Pishio beast let out berserk might. However, the new heavenly phoenix did not care for these circumstances. Its whole body was suffused with rainbow light, and its other talon already ruthlessly clawed the single-horned Pishio beast's face. Phoenix fire descended. Bang, bang, noises just like a heavy hammer striking iron resounded. The new heavenly phoenix's flames were just like raindrops continuously storming down. Its burning wings allowed the ice-cold gale to roll across, yet its firm grasp on the single-horned Pishio beast's cranium did not loosen in the slightest. The frantic attack evoked a great amount of air that shot forth. The entire sky seemed to cave in. Su Xing was endlessly thankful. Yellow Crane School, front gate. More than 100 women on riding swords assembled outside the Yellow Crane School's mountain gate. Taoist Master Yellow Crane had a yellow brow and level eyes, crane hair and a childish countenance. His cultivation was super void early stage, and the 100 disciples by his side gripped swords in grim weight. Taoist Master Yellow Crane, do you insist on your unwillingness to lend the Yellow Crane Tower? A woman was currently negotiating with him. Taoist Master Yellow Crane sneered. As a super void cultivator, how could he willingly give out the symbol of the Yellow Crane School, the Yellow Crane Tower? Minute Star 9 Tattoo Dragons Shurjin. Do you think this Taoist master does not know that you desire the Yellow Crane Tower's 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls to upgrade your star weapon? In the past star duels, this school has never handed them over, and neither will we turn them over today. Even if your 9 Dragons Palace is yielded to this Taoist master, this Taoist master will not agree. 9 Tattooed Dragons Shurjin, if you have the capability, then come out and speak yourself. Taoist Master Yellow Crane laughed aloud. Do you insist on making me show my face? A graceful and warm voice penetrated the entire place. The disciples of the 9 dragons separated to form a path. A mature and lovely woman gracefully arrived. She was exactly the woman bathing in the cold pond, and she was also the current imperial empress of the 9 dragons palace, the Minute Star. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's eyes flashed with a clear light, and his expression appeared genial. Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragons, are you so determined to take the 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls? Taoist Master Yellow Crane smiled. Does the Taoist Master acquiesce? I have but made my decision. 9 Tattooed Dragons Shurjingluan thoughtfully played with her hair. Furthermore, the 48 Blue Water Azure Dragon Pearls I gave you does not treat Taoist Master unfairly. Before Taoist Master Yellow Crane could speak, a supercluster late-stage elder beside him waved his sleeve coldly. The Imperial Empress of the 9 Dragons Palace is truly good at jokes. The Yellow Crane Tower is the symbol of my school. Without the 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls, is it still the Yellow Crane Tower? Then Taoist Master makes me vexed. Shurjingluan smiled. So we ask that the Nine Dragons Palace Imperial Empress go back. This school is honestly unable to help you, however much we want to. Taoist Master Yellow Crane said. Headmaster, the Nine Dragons Palace Imperial Empress has personally come to see you with much difficulty. Shall we not give the Nine Dragons Palace Imperial Empress a choice? So as to avoid others saying our Yellow Crane School did not give the Nine Dragons see any face. A middle-aged man laughed aloud, his expression a clear provocation. Nine Dragons Palace Imperial Empress, if you can serve my school's disciples for one night, I believe something like the 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls will not mind even if the headmaster disagrees to give them to you. That large man grinned. The other people in the sect laughed without restraint. Outrageous! Tantaiziu flew into an unrestrained rage. The Nine Dragons Palace's women each showed killing intent. How can you be so discourteous to the Nine Dragons Imperial Empress? Taoist Master Yellow Crane insincerely rebuked. Quickly apologize. Yumao apologizes. Seeing the Nine Dragons Palace Imperial Empress is so beautiful, Yumao had wicked thoughts. Please pardon me. That Yumao insincerely said. Although the Nine Dragons Palace was overlord of an area of the Black Turtle territory that was over the faraway Nine Dragon Sea, the Yellow Crane School naturally did not fear them. Queen. Shi Jingluan was calm and unhurried. She said, Taoist Master truly is using bitter conscience. Are you not saying you want to make me take action? Is it so easy to kill me? The Taoist Master Yellow Crane that had been seen through chuckled, What? What Shi Jingluan guessed was not wrong. Yellow Crane School was aware of Shi Jingluan's identity as a Star General. For this reason, they did not dare become hostile, but if the Star General acted first, the Yellow Crane School had grounds to kill the Star General. One might as well ask the entire Liangshan continent, who would not desire to personally kill a Star General. This was the greatest glory. Is Taoist Master so self-confident? Shi Jingluan faintly smiled. Taoist Master Yellow Crane did not say anything, but his eyes clearly already had this reply. Yellow Crane Island was their domain, with a forbidden array. Furthermore, he was a super void cultivator, and he believed one nine-tattooed dragon was not out of the question. As for the other Nine Dragons Palace disciples, at that time, they would be no more than rats fleeing a sinking ship. Could it be that Taoist Master has not thought that since I dared to come forth and make the request myself, that I dare make Taoist Master acquiesce? Shi Jingluan said. Shi Jin, you merely walked upon unexpected fortune in order to obtain the throne of the Nine Dragons Palace. Your martial arts are among the fiend's stars, quite off from that peak. If Lu Jini, Lin Chong, or Guanxing were here, this Taoist Master perhaps would consider it. But you, Taoist Master Yellow Crane, was not pretending. That kind face made a shameful expression. Well said, I was fortunate. Shi Jingluan was not displeased with his contempt at all. On the contrary, she laughed even more happily. When those words fell, Shi Jingluan's hand then tugged. A sharp arrow immediately fired. This Taoist Master was waiting for you to fire. Taoist Master Yellow Crane smiled. More than 100 yellow dragon flying swords turned into a dragon that easily bit apart this arrow. Shi Jin has taken action, take her down. As you command. The Yellow Crane School disciples gazed at the beautiful girls of the Nine Dragons School and each rubbed their hands. With loud shouts, their flying swords were called forth. Witness the power of the 9 songs Yellow River Array. Taoist Master Yellow Crane shouted. There was no activity at all. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was taken aback. The anticipated powerful sect forbid dance did not appear. What has happened? Confusion appeared in Taoist Master Yellow Crane's heart. So this was the 9 songs Yellow River Array? Merely so. A powerful male voice penetrated the air. Taoist Master Yellow Crane turned his head in astonishment. On top of the sect's building, a young man had appeared at some time. In his hand, he held a sword of cold light, his manner icily arrogant. His powerful aura practically squeezed the Yellow Crane School's disciples into breathlessness. Super Void Cultivator. Taoist Master Yellow Crane turned grim. Taoist Master, you must not be careless. Shi Jingluan slightly smiled. Her words suddenly slipped into his ear. Taoist Master Yellow Crane changed, hastily blocking. On Yellow Crane Island, saber light and sword shadows suddenly appeared. The Yellow Crane School's disciples that had originally thought that victory was at hand panicked one by one, but at this time, it was already too late. Meanwhile, the new heavenly phoenix gracefully flapped its wings in the sky, frantically progressed the heavenly fire attack. The speed and strength of this sort of attack made Su Xing see that even he would not last for that long. With a severe shriek, although the single-horned Pishio beast's body was bound by all sorts of pressure, that did not mean it lost its ability to attack. Following the sharp roar, an ice-cold whirlwind spewed forth from its mouth, pouncing towards the new heavenly phoenix that was so close at hand. A shadow suddenly enveloped the new heavenly phoenix. Following a grievous tearing at the same time the shadow dispersed, the single-horned Pishio beast that thought it had attained victory was nevertheless astonished. The new heavenly phoenix's whole body surged with a gorgeous flame. In the sky, it was scorching hot, the flame extremely beautiful. Just by looking at it, Su Xing could not help but slightly praise it. The new heavenly phoenix once again attacked the single-horned Pishio beast ferociously. At the same time it blasted with a firelight, the new heavenly phoenix instantly moved and broke away. Its nimble movements made it avoid the single-horned Pishio beast's counterattack. Its body drew a beautiful arc in the air, the new heavenly phoenix drawing close to them. Nu also had intelligence, more bright than ordinary star cultivators. The new heavenly phoenix's entire body was just like a flaming lightning bolt in the sky, or perhaps it was more appropriate to use thunderbolt to describe it. The thunderbolt's heavy imposing weight was no more than an instant as the figure of the new heavenly phoenix already was completely distorted. All anyone could see was a frantic hurricane whirling in the sky, rolling to attack the single-horned Pishio beast's figure. The single-horned Pishio beast counterattacked with everything it could. The two powerful sub-holy beasts ferociously battled, the terror of the scene practically indescribable. Phoenix Cry Ninth Heaven. The new heavenly phoenix's gorgeous flames rolled and burned. The single-horned Pishio beast also instantly formed a hurricane might that was not the slightest bit inferior. The new heavenly phoenix's wings flapped. The flames were like pythons, ruthlessly biting the single-horned Pishio beast's horn. To the naked eye, the single-horned Pishio beast struggled as hard as it could under the bite of the python that the new heavenly phoenix formed. An ear-piercing scraping and tearing sound pierced the sky. Even the silhouette of the single-horned Pishio beast apparently felt pain. Its wide-open mouth let out a shrill bellow. The time to act on its suffering passed in an instant. The battle of the two holy beasts was no more than the blink of an eye, but it gave rise to a world-stunning shock. Gong Sun Huang wielded the pine-brand ancient sword. She fired a bolt of star magic that knocked aside the single-horned Pishio beast. Su Xing simultaneously struck hand seals, and the 12 heaven tearings stirred, about to attack. The two worked together. This single-horned Pishio beast was not unintelligent at all. It sensed that its opponent was not to be trifled with. Roaring, a gale surged, and then it escaped upon the wind. The new heavenly phoenix let out a sharp cry, appealing for Gong Sun Huang's affection. It wanted its mistress' praise. Gong Sun Huang petted. "Let's go back. I wonder how Nyangzi is doing," Su Xing said. Su Xing once again returned to Yellow Crane Island, yet the scene before him made him surprised. The previously tranquil Yellow Crane Island at this time was already extremely tragic. This smoke rose everywhere, and amidst the bright flames, there were screams and the faint sounds of fighting. In the war of the Yellow Crane School hidden in the forest, every sort of flying sword, artifact, and magic weapon each interwove. The entire Yellow Crane Island sunk into a world-shocking slaughter. It seems that woman still made her move. Su Xing raised his eyebrows upon seeing the scene before him. "Nyangzi." Su Xing anxiously flew hastily down for Hunyangzi. "Just who are you?" The 100 yellow dragon flying swords bared their fangs and claws, becoming a disordered dragon shadow. A handsome and bright man gripped a sword that yet appeared to be at a realm with no other. One person alone fended off 100 flying swords. That power was not to be outdone compared to star generals. Super Void Sword Saint. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's complexion changed. His sword was a lotus flower, and that man quickly pointed continuously in the air. The airflow seemed to become a formless line that followed the motions of his sword and suddenly appeared. That lofty flashing shifting trajectory appeared extremely mysterious. Specks of light like starfire flew in all directions, gorgeously blinding. Chi, too, how could Taoist Master Yellow Crane have ever thought that he would unexpectedly run into a Super Void Sword Saint? Although he had used his magic weapons and flying swords to trap this Super Void Sword Saint, there was an even more dangerous enemy behind him. Shi Jingluan gently smiled. She carried a murderous aura. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was without a choice. He immediately bit open the tip of his tongue, the sound like spring thunder. With a soft sound, a white ball of light half the size of a person already appeared, suddenly charging towards the very close by Shi Jingluan. Powerful waves of star energy directly tore apart space, and the substance of the nearby light ball immediately became particles. This was Taoist Master Yellow Crane's strongest ability, 9 Song's Absolute Destruction Divine Ball. 3. In Shi Jingluan's hand was a staff. 9 Tattooed Dragons grinned. Without the slightest bit of fear, Shi Jingluan instantly shouted. In her weapon's incorporeal airflow, a rapidly revolving vortex formed that finally became an eerie storm eye shape that entrapped the light ball. Without a sound, after the 9 Song's Absolute Destruction Divine Ball touched Shi Jingluan's weapon, it was like a rock had landed against the water's surface, arousing slight ripples. Space gave rise to circles of ripples. The 9 Song's Absolute Destruction Divine Ball spun even more intensely, and Taoist Master Yellow Crane grit his teeth, breaking out into a cold sweat. It was obvious that he was controlling it with the greatest amount of effort to avoid being taken advantage of by Shi Jingluan. A stark contrast to Shi Jingluan's calm and composed face. Watch this. How could this super void cultivator that could move about Liangshan continent unhindered be willing to be defeated? In the silence, Taoist Master Yellow Crane formed hand seals. More Absolute Destruction Divine Balls appeared in the air, and the 9 Song's Absolute Destruction Divine Balls in his hand suddenly smashed towards Shi Jingluan. An intense star energy wave wildly spread, creating a slight depression in space where even lines of sight were distorted. Although Taoist Master Yellow Crane previously contemptuously said that Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragon Shi Jin's martial force did not count as first-rate, now he was extremely afraid of 9 Tattooed Dragons closing in on him. Even this sort of first-rate martial general at close range was extremely foreboding. Originally, he had relied on his yellow dragon flying swords and magic weapons. Taoist Master Yellow Crane originally had the confidence to get rid of Shi Jin, but the surprise appearance of a Super Void Sword Saint ruined his plan. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was very clear about Shi Jin's martial force, and he did not believe those Absolute Destruction Divine Balls that were not fast at all could strike Shi Jin. Following the Absolute Destruction Divine Ball's attack, Minute Star Shi Jingluan's silhouette once again transformed into light rays. The hiss of tearing air once again filled the entire space. 9 Tattooed Dragons' afterimages were continuous. Under such high speed, let alone attack, even a figure was perhaps difficult to seize onto. From time to time, the air exploded with shockwaves. This was the result of Minute Star Shi Jingluan exchanges. The Yellow Crane School's other cultivators and elders launched a battle of concentrated faith. They each took a direction, encircling Minute Star Shi Jingluan from every direction. Their formation left a gap. A speed that was any faster would have lost any sense of direction and ceased to exist. That supercluster elder Yu Zhong from before stamped his foot, making the ground's power sink down and then shoot straight into the sky. The shaking power immediately disturbed the Minute Star Shi Jingluan's speed. Minute Star Shi Jingluan's foot kicked, and she left the entanglement of the ground. But the other cultivators already waited a long time for this. Bloodlight blossomed. One elder was chopped in half at the waist, his expression of fright still left before he died. The light ray violently shot out, and a roll of thunder boomed. When Minute Star Shi Jingluan appeared again, Yu Mao's use of his powerful strength added onto continuous battle fatigue made him slightly slow for an instant, but with regards to Shi Jingluan, this instant honestly was too endless. When Minute Star Shi Jingluan landed, a snort of contempt and disdain stabbed like a knife. Yu Mao also took a step back. His abdomen had already been pierced almost fatally by an arrow. Taoist Master Yellow Crane formed a hand seal, and the light of star energy gathered on his hands, forming a defensive posture. The attacks of all of the cultivators' flying swords then continuously covered everything, like a tidal wave. The Nine Dragons Palace was unwilling to fall behind, and every sort of magnificent flying swords let out dragon roars, practically swallowing the entire Yellow Crane school with nothing left. A black shadow suddenly flashed by. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's pupils shrunk, and he continuously stepped backwards. Careful! The very first to be unfortunate was the complacent Yu Mao. The moment he heard careful, Minute Star Shi Jingluan already appeared behind him. Several arrows emerged that attacked past his defenses. I very much enjoyed your vulgarity. Graceful mockery. The Yu Zhong that lost his defenses turned pale, and he prepared to use his physical body's power to resist. Minute Star Shi Jingluan basically did not give him any chance. Between when saber light rose and fell, Yu Zhong immediately lost his life. Taoist Master Yellow Crane once again gathered the Absolute Destruction Divine Balls, shooting them towards Minute Star Shi Jingluan. Minute Star Shi Jingluan used her weapon to cut down these divine balls, but even when this tyrannical weapon touched the divine balls, it made Minute Star Shi Jingluan stumble backwards with the skin of her hands split apart. Any way it was put, he was a super void cultivator. That magic energy made the Shi Jingluan that was not yet at extreme realms still face some risk. Minute Star Shi Jingluan immediately evaded the second Nine Song's Absolute Destruction Divine Ball. But these Absolute Destruction Divine Ball acted really too oddly under the divine intent of Taoist Master Yellow Crane, as if it possessed life. The Nine Song's Absolute Destruction Divine Ball continuously flew about in the surroundings. No matter how Minute Star Shi Jingluan moved, it always could quickly find the position Minute Star Shi Jingluan was at. In the process of flight, Taoist Master Yellow Crane still controlled his own power, making the great amount of Absolute Destruction Divine Balls attack. Taoist Master Yellow Crane practically put everything into fight for the sole purpose of annihilating the Minute Star's existence. In several short breaths' time, the Absolute Destruction Divine Balls surprisingly had 50 or 60 in number, and they still were increasing. Even Shi Jingluan was impressed at this sort of ability. Bang! Minute Star Shi Jingluan punched the ground, sending a large amount of earth and stone flying everywhere. The dust immediately pervaded the entire space, obscuring the lines of sight of everyone. Attempting to use this sort of way to change the situation before them, she broke free of the attacks of the weird light balls. As before, this was without any results. In the diffusing smoke and dust, the Nine Song's Absolute Destruction Divine Balls seemed to not be influenced, still unrelentingly pursuing Minute Star Shi Jingluan's direction of movement. A gentle white light at this moment surprisingly was like the countenance of a death god, which made Taoist Master Yellow Crane seemed to glimpse hope. Shi Jin, if you have the capability, then do not run. Taoist Master Yellow Crane laughed. Truly powerful abilities, I shall not run then. Shi Jin replied. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's heart chilled. Suddenly, she already appeared in front of him. Courting death. The Nine Dragons' Absolute Destruction Divine Ball flew back. Hey! Shi Jingluan shouted. The weapon in her hand suddenly changed in a dazzling confusion. Occasionally, there was saber light and a sword image, and occasionally, there was a spear or axe. Countless gales blew across the level, seizing Taoist Master Yellow Crane like a tide. Not good for star-destined weapon. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was shocked. Dark rank, Yellow Dragon worships heaven. A staff in Shi Jingluan's hand transformed into a yellow dragon that bound Taoist Master Yellow Crane. With continuous explosions, a powerful force directly shattered Taoist Master Yellow Crane's internal organs. However, as expected of a top-notch supervoid cultivator, he could still persist under a 4-star destined weapon. I feel that you truly are pitiful. Shi Jingluan smiled. Shi Jin, your dark rank is merely so. Watch this Taoist masters. Taoist Master Yellow Crane grinned wildly. Whoosh! A sharp sword pierced his heart. Sword chi slashed, directly twisting him into scattered ash and smoke. Mph! The supervoid sword sank gravely and sternly wiped his blade, ending Taoist Master Yellow Crane's life. Shi Jingluan only felt pity. Following Taoist Master Yellow Crane's death, the Yellow Crane school suddenly scattered. Very quickly falling into defeat, Shi Jingluan did not issue orders to kill. The women were to be inducted into the 9 Dragons Palace, and the men were to be relegated to hard labor. Tianya shall now go help Queen collect the yellow dragon pearls. The man turned his head back towards the Yellow Crane Tower. His figure disappeared from where he was. Just as Shi Jingluan was about to go forth, her brow suddenly wrinkled. A blur landed at the bottom of the mountain. Bang! Hunyangzi was currently hidden in a corner spectating the war. Seeing Shi Jingluan's skill was suddenly frightening, to unexpectedly destroy a supervoid cultivator. Hunyangzi was just preparing to leave when suddenly, Shi Jingluan turned her head and noticed her. An afterimage was left in her retinas, and without a word, a powerful to the extreme force already was upon her. It was too late to react, for Shi Jingluan was already sweeping towards her. Hunyangzi's eyes flashed with light. The golden wind and morning dew double sabers suddenly protected her front. Shi Jingluan's speed and power were even faster and stronger than she had imagined. Hunyangzi had already lost the chance to escape. The airflow around her body wildly circulated, and she fought with all her might. Bang! Their powers clashed. Instantly, 2 immense forces suddenly clashed briefly upon Hunyangzi's arms. 4-star destined weapon? Hunyangzi was startled. An explosion rose, and Shi Jingluan once again attacked. Her staff swept at Hunyangzi. As 10 feet of blue anticipated, Shi Jingluan's martial arts were far more powerful than her own. Hunyangzi wielded her double sabers with all her might, light smoke dance steps displaying its full power. Yellow rank saber technique, hate transmission. Shi Jingluan had originally believed this was another peeping enemy, had even thought to kill her in one blow. She did not think at all the young woman in front of her could execute such a quick attack, and that this attack's power had a sort of odd feeling. The young girl's figure gracefully took her along in a seeming dance. Immediately, a cold tip like a viper swam past her body. The accumulated strength in her body instantly disappeared without a trace. Shi Jingluan staggered, already retreating several steps, as if she was drunk. Shi Jingluan's face already was extremely astonished. Those charming eyes twinkled endlessly. With a muffled groan, a clear line of blood already leaked swiftly from the corner of her mouth. This was a Star General's technique. Shi Jingluan covered the intense shock in her heart with great difficulty. She could no longer maintain the calmness on her face. In that instant of contact just now, who could have thought that the moment their techniques connected, the strength of her martial art would unexpectedly disappear upon that brief contact? It forced Shi Jingluan even to be unable to counterattack. Little sister, take this. Shi Jingluan swept horizontally. The little sister in front of her was indeed very powerful. Her dreamlike figure was very unreal. Every time they clashed and attacked, the girl's every movement was extremely graceful. Her fighting could even be rated as the most beautiful handiwork in this world. Shi Jingluan softly chuckled. She used full power, her long hair fluttering. Bang! The air exploded. Under Shi Jingluan's full power, it suddenly became fragments. A large amount of smoke and mist clumped up, and Shi Jingluan's figure already emerged from within. The surrounding fine dust seemed to be fiddled with by a formless hand. Following the attack of Shi Jingluan's staff, they instantly became countless minute light particles, frantically pelting down on Hunyangzi's head and face. Under the impulse of that power, those minute particles surprisingly let out sharp cries. Thinking like lightning in an instant, that expansive attack had already arrived in front of Hunyangzi, assailing her in the face. Hunyangzi slid by with light smoke dance steps, her figure leaning, her entire person already seemingly ice skating. A seemingly inescapable attack unexpectedly was entirely evaded by Hunyangzi's unimaginable speed and direction. However, the power the densely packed staff shadows held far exceeded her imagination. The light particles hot on her heels slashed at Hunyangzi like 1,000 knives. The staff technique rolled layer by layer like a tide, completely without pause. Hunyangzi spared no effort to go block. Golden wind and morning dew continuously danced with a most beautiful light. Suddenly, the long staff abruptly transformed, becoming a 9-section staff. This abrupt transformation ruined Hunyangzi's dance tempo. Dark rank, 9 dragons 9 flashes. 5. The section staff in Shi Jingluan's hand was like a dragon that explosively shot forth. Each section carried a different strength, as if 9 adepts were simultaneously using 9 techniques, and the attack had 9 paths. The double sabers let out 9 continuous explosions. Each explosion was resounding, the size and level each different. Protecting against one, there was then another section, earth-shattering in approach. This was Shi Jingluan's second dark rank, but it appeared to have no effect. The 9 attacks struck in Hunyangzi from 9 directions in succession. Flying Star Magpie Dance. Hunyangzi raised her double sabers, continuously moving. Bang bang bang, bang bang bang, bang bang bang. 9 sounds, 9 flashes of light. Hunyangzi barely blocked, yet she had been injured. Blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. Bright star 10 feet of blue Husanyang. Shi Jingluan discerned the unceasing attack of those golden wind and morning dew. Hunyangzi immediately staggered away. Shi Jingluan did not pursue, only yelling, "Elder sister has offended little sister just now. If little sister is interested, little sister can come to the 9 Dragons Palace. Elder sister can apologize to little sister." Who was Queen speaking to just now? Tantai Ziyu walked over. It can be assumed that the number 1 beauty of the Star Maidens will not look upon a man. Shi Jingluan smiled. Suddenly, 9 tattooed dragons' smile froze on her mouth. The single-horned Pishio beast had fled back with its tail between its legs. Tantai Ziyu was shocked. Only after Hunyangzi made herself appear alone did she return to the cold pond. She then happened to spot Gong Sun Huang, but she did not see Su Xing. The bright star was confused. "Where is dear husband?" Hunyangzi asked. "Nyangzi, are you all right?" Su Xing at this time flew back. Hunyangzi shook her head, but she told him about the matter of the Yellow Crane School and 9 Dragons Palace. Minute star 9 tattooed dragons Shijin. As expected of her, Su Xing already thought of her. Of the star generals he had yet to see, there was only her, but he did not think that 9 tattooed dragons Shijin would unexpectedly operate an influential power. "Wife, are you actually all right?" Su Xing furrowed his brow as he noticed that Hunyangzi's complexion was not good at all. "Did they make things difficult for you?" Su Xing's tone chilled. Hunyangzi shook her head. "Return to the star nest and rest." Su Xing said. "Unnecessary, Nyangzi does not want to return to the star nest." Hunyangzi gently declined. As far as star maidens were concerned, the star nest always had a sort of feeling of imprisonment. That a star maiden did not wish to return to the star nest, Su Xing could understand. "But, wife, many thanks for dear husband's concern." Hunyangzi bowed her head. Seeing her insistence, Su Xing could not easily compel her. "I'll go see just what's going on with this 9 Dragons Palace. Shijin has unexpectedly dared to take action against the Yellow Crane School." Su Xing ordered, "Little Huang, you two be careful here. If the 9 Dragons Palace seeks trouble, don't be polite." "Dear husband." Su Xing was about to leave when Hunyangzi suddenly grasped his hand. "Wife, do you have orders?" Su Xing said. "Dear husband, please do not go find Shijin for what happened to Nyangzi." Hunyangzi saw through Su Xing's intentions. "I just want to see just how this Shijin that reportedly has 9 star weapons is." Su Xing smiled. "Dear husband, do not deceive Nyangzi." Although Su Xing hit it very well, he still could not escape the young girl's analysis that was fine as a hair. Nyangzi and Shijin had a misunderstanding. Shijin even invited Nyangzi to go to the Nine Dragons Palace. Nyangzi repeated Shijin's invitation. Su Xing looked pensively. Nyangzi's hatred is with Guansheng. Nyangzi asks dear husband to not be reckless. Nyangzi's attitude was very resolute. Alright, I promise you. However, I see that the Yellow Crane School has already been destroyed. Shijin ought to have some trump card, and I'm going to go see it. Know yourself, know your enemy. This is always good. Su Xing patted Nyangzi's shoulder. He grinned. Wife, be at ease, I know what I should do. Only then did Nyangzi go limp. Su Xing once again sneaked into the Yellow Crane School. At this time, Shi Jingluan was cooperating to break the Yellow Crane Tower's forbid dance, and no one noticed him. Su Xing sized her up and wrinkled his brow. Nine Tattooed Dragons Shijin's influence was pretty big. Lu Tianya, how much longer for this Yellow Crane Tower forbid dance? Shi Jingluan asked him. Lu Tianya? Su Xing suddenly felt that he seemed to have once recognized this name. Where did he hear of this? The man named Lu Tianya currently wielded his sword chant. Sword light shook with ripples, the earth seemingly tottering. Super Void Sword Saint. Su Xing's brow creased even more deeply. No wonder the Yellow Crane School would be destroyed. He saw that the Yellow Crane forbid dance was about to break. Tantai Ziyu smiled. Congratulations, Queen, congratulations. So long as you have the Yellow Crane Tower's 48 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls, with your upgrade to 5-star, these star duels will belong to Queen. Shi Jingluan's face wore a smile. This is thanks to the assistance of all of you. Queen, disciple is overwhelmed by these words. Tantai Ziyu smiled. 5-star destined weapon? Su Xing's eyes narrowed. He gazed at the Yellow Crane Tower's bright pearls, and his heart already had a thought. Under a situation of not knowing whether they were friend or foe, how could Su Xing watch as 9 Tattooed Dragons Shijin upgraded her star weapon to 5-star? Even if he had seen Shi Jingluan's naked body, this exchange was not profitable. Taoist Master Yellow Crane, for the sake of not allowing Shijin to order someone to sneak attack the Yellow Crane Tower in the middle of the chaos, had added a powerful forbid dance. Lu Tianya hovered in the air, his star energy concentrating onto his sword. An insufferably arrogant might concentrated over his whole body, as if he was master of heaven and earth. The Super Void Sword Saint was terrifying as expected. Even if he was so far away, he could sense the pressure. So as to avoid trouble, Su Xing first ingested a change appearance pill. He used an escape technique to infiltrate the vicinity of the Yellow Crane Tower. At this time, everyone was focused on Lu Tianya breaking the forbid dance. Who would have thought there would be someone else? Hey! Lu Tianya slashed into space. The sword chi seemed to split apart the galaxy. The entire Yellow Crane Island shook, and 100 zhang deep gorge suddenly appeared. Yellow Crane Island had surprisingly been cleaved apart by his slash. An enormous rumbling noise. The forbid dance also finally dissolved. Lu Tianya then gently pointed. The 48 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls were each embedded into a corner of the Yellow Crane Tower. With Lu Tianya's abilities, one slash could free them. When Su Xing saw this, he immediately slinked over, directly arriving at the top of the Yellow Crane Tower to collect those 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls at the top. Who? Lu Tianya abruptly shouted. Although Su Xing's hiding was excellent and even a genuine peek, at such close proximity, it was difficult to avoid the divine intent of a super void cultivator. Lu Tianya's figure leaped, and he charged. So fast. Su Xing had only just extracted 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearl when a chilly sword chi whooshed for a cut without a word. The unstoppable sword chi immediately shattered the top of the tower. The Super Void Sword Saint was undoubtedly equal to the 5-star destined weapon of a peak star general. How could Su Xing tangle with him? Su Xing raised his hand and used Heaven Tearing to go intercept. The next second, Lu Tianya flew up, pouncing toward Su Xing. The sword in his hand accurately slashed by. In this exchange, no sword chi shot out from the sword at all, but the instant Su Xing's heaven-tearing touched the weapon, the sword chi nevertheless instantly rushed out. Worthy of a super void sword saint, possessing an incomparable sword cultivation technique, Lu Tianya completely used star energy to adhere to the surface of the weapon, making the sword's body become an even sharper blade. Now, this lethal weapon already arrived before Su Xing's eyes, waiting to shred its prey to pieces. However, Lu Tianya nevertheless completely did not have the feeling that victory was at hand. He tightly knit his brow. It was very difficult to imagine that when a supervoid cultivator faced a supercluster cultivator in close quarters that he would show such an odd expression. In Su Xing's black pupils, familiar rays of light jumped out at him, that sort of keenness that only a star general seemingly could manifest. Their surroundings suddenly became dim. Then, before Lu Tianya could be in time to react, Su Xing already retreated with profound dance steps, then flinging out heaven-tearing. Such quick speed. Lu Tianya was shocked, and then his fingers extended. Divine intent covered like a tide. He wanted to trap Su Xing, which with his supervoid cultivation was naturally very easy. However, at this moment, the space between them blossomed with layers of golden lotus flowers. Buddhist light glowed unbounded, displaying Saraira, Bodhi, gold leaves and every sort of Buddhist holy object. Under the Buddha-like might, his divine intent pressure was immediately disintegrated. In this instant that Lu Tianya paused, Su Xing again disappeared from under his nose with light smoke dance steps. Lu Tianya could sense Su Xing's powerful oppression from behind. Just how did he flank behind like this? Lu Tianya felt disbelief, but he very quickly lost the mood to ponder. Instantly, the chi on his sword directly slashed behind him. Su Xing was pushed back. Like eyebrows, this sword chi honestly was fine. Even if he was like this, he still could have room to maneuver. Lu Tianya did not say a word. He immediately used his countenance to turn the wind blade on the sword into a succession of attacks to act as his reply. Several dozen wind blades once again whistled as they launched towards their target, as if they were extending the sword, but this was completely useless. Vajra evil smiting palm. Su Xing immediately thrust out his palm. A giant golden Buddhist palm covered Lu Tianya. This supervoid sword saint raised his sword. Brazen. What? Killing intent pounced from all directions. Su Xing looked and saw that the 9 Dragons Palace's other disciples already were rushing over. In addition, 9 Tattooed Dragons Shurjin was even faster, her slender body skyrocketing up like a dragon. Su Xing was about to sink into this vast sea of murderous aura in just the blink of an eye. Su Xing executed the chaotic tail escape without any hesitation. A ray of bloodlight flashed. But, disappearing from where he was, Shi Jingluan landed on nothing. Her beautiful eyes were astonished. Su Xing already was high above the clouds, similarly using wandering the clear skies. Supervoid cultivator? Where are you running? How could Shi Jingluan be so willing when she saw that Su Xing had wrested away 9 Song's yellow dragon pearls? Sitting upon the single-horned Pishio beast to chase, this headache of a star beast was originally captured with much effort from both her and Qingxi. 9 tattooed dragons had confidence she was not inferior in terms of speed. Courting death. On that side, Lu Tianya also had fury in his eyes, with a sort of feeling of great anger to grind bone and scatter ash. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Bloodlight flashed several times, and he became fast beyond imagination. What sort of escape technique is this? Shi Jingluan was startled. In her eyes, Su Xing's whole body was bound in a flashing red light. The swiftness of his speed made her unable to discern reality and falsity, but within a breath's time, Su Xing thoroughly disappeared into the horizon, as if he had never come in the first place. Shi Jingluan even thought that her eyes were blinded. Where did this supervoid cultivator come from to have speed so fast? Lu Tianya had the same thoughts as her. Shi Jingluan was unresigned. She ruminated, biting her lips. Who else could he be? Shi Jingluan sneered. For a supervoid cultivator to also have this kind of power, there was only the Devil Star Palace. The Devil Star Palace, for the sake of obstructing her star weapon upgrade, used this kind of method. 9 tattooed dragons did not feel this was odd. Lu Tianya was silent. By the time Shi Jingluan completely collected the Yellow Crane Tower's 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, upon calming down, there were only 43. 5 were missing. To appear outwardly as supercluster cultivation and even be able to steal these then escape cleanly away in the middle of a battle against a supervoid cultivator, this made Lu Tianya feel terror. 5 are missing? Shi Jingluan wrinkled her brow. The 9 songs yellow dragon pearls were created from the White Tiger Territory's Yellow River silt. Shi Jingluan used the 9 Dragons Palace's influence in the Black Turtle Territory to search a long time and only found 2. Without mentioning the danger of going to the White Tiger Territory to gather 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, there was no more time now. It seems we can only slow down for now. Shi Jingluan sighed. She subsequently shook her head. Let us return. The Black Turtle Sea's other powers ought to be nearly done. Prepare the chariot to return to the palace. Tantai Ziyu issued the command. Su Xing lifted his head and saw a chariot off in the distance. Looks like I can't use the chaotic tail escape too much. Su Xing let out a sigh of relief. Ever since Su Xing blossomed the meditative mind lotus flower, the chaotic tail escape also reached a new realm under his meditative mind. Using it no longer required heavy injury, but it still felt painful. Furthermore, his cultivation would drop afterwards. It seemed this chaotic tail escape truly was something so incorrigible that it truly angered men and gods alike. The repercussions were purely evil to the point of discomfort. Su Xing ingested medicine, fiddled with the 5 yellow dragon pearls in his hands, and only then did he return to the cold pond. Dear husband? What happened just now? Hunyangzi asked. I just made sure Jean postpone her star weapon upgrade. Heh. Su Xing said. Does the cold pond still have baby's breath? Shi Jingluan had been bathing here just now, and he did not know if the baby's breath had been taken away. Hunyangzi's hand flipped. In the palm of her hand appeared several blue herbs. Suspended along the herbs were little flowers, like falling stars. This was baby's breath. What a relief. Let's go back for now. Su Xing nodded. This trip finally was considered not futile, and to see Shijin also counted as a very big harvest. Tang Tang, can you refine dark rank wine like this? Su Xing asked. Tang Tang cutely affirmed. In the Immortal's abode, Bai Yutong took out a little bottle with 3 glittering stars, dreamless. Every sort of wine brewing material was completely placed into the bottle. The cute little loli blinked, and then her little mouth gently blew on the jade bottle. Afterwards, she shook the bottle. Whoosh! A delicate fragrance entered the lungs. Dense fog emerged, and within were gradually flashing stars. Bai Yutong carefully took a sip, and her face instantly was flushed. It's finished. Su Xing was currently looking curiously at how drunk the little loli was. The process was much simpler than he had imagined. Put all the ingredients in, have Bai Yutong gently shake, and the scent of alcohol was already wafting out. Bai Yutong nodded. Her apple-red cheeks made anyone who saw unable to help but take a bite. Can I have a drink? Papa. Bai Yutong passed dreamless over to Su Xing. Su Xing carefully drank. The taste of the alcohol was about the same as orange jasmine. Bai Yutong's dark rank wine brewing was known as seemingly drunk and stupefied. It was only one mouthful, but Su Xing felt thoroughly drunk, as if he had ascended extreme bliss, too wonderful for words. It's good. Su Xing praised. Little Huang, wife, do you want a taste? Bai Yutong poured 2 cups for her elder sisters. Gong Sun Huang drank. The wine slid in a line from inside the cup and entered her vermilion lips. Hunyangzi was considerably ladylike. She gracefully held her goblet, taking a faint sip. Although the expressions of the two were considerably different, the result was the same. They both showed intoxicated expressions. Gong Sun Huang flew to a valley inside the Immortal's abode, suddenly pointing her pine-brand ancient sword. The white clouds dispersed, and the earth quaked. Dark rank, half-destroyed landscape. After one dark rank, Gong Sun Huang immediately used another half-destroyed landscape. It was rather demanding for heavenly stars to use dark ranks, but after drinking seemingly drunk and stupefied, Gong Sun Huang successively used 2 half-destroyed landscape without any ill effects. Tang Tang, your wine brewing truly is too amazing. Su Xing lovingly stroked by Yutong's hair. The little loli closed her eyes in pleasure, somewhat happy. Taking advantage of these additional days, I'll go help pick some more baby's breath. Brew some more seemingly drunk and stupefied. Worry-free without a care also can't be too lacking. At that time, we'll have to give some to Yingmei and the others to taste. Su Xing could imagine that drunken scene. Bai Yutong gently nodded, her eyes squinting into crescents, showing a heartfelt smile for being able to help her papa. Which made Su Xing grateful. He wondered how Gu Tong and the others at the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion were doing. Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. There was the clinking of goblets and chips, the sounds of merrymaking continuous. Great Saint Starkiller and Guan Ying looked at this restaurant. The brave star's brows rose, her eyes somewhat cold. According to Great Saint Starkiller's self-injury trick, he needed only to feign drinking a cup of poisoned wine, and then he could kill a star general. At that time, the other star maidens in the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion would act to face him. And then even if Guan Ying was unwilling, she would act to protect her master. The plan was very simple. The moment he stepped into the threshold, Great Saint Starkiller saw the stone-like woman to the side and suddenly hesitate. That was a disappointment he had never seen before. Inga, just what do you seek in the star duels? Great Saint Starkiller turned his head to ask. Was victory not part of means fair or foul? Guan Ying did not answer. Great Saint Starkiller shook his head. Since your star weapon has already been imbued with the Devil Star, Inga, there is already no room to turn back. Is it no good to allow us to use the most unbridled attitude to scale Maiden Mountain? This path should not be used. Guan Ying coldly replied. Victors, the way of the king. Great Saint Starkiller sneered. Losers did not have the qualifications to say anything. When you and I originally signed our contract, did you not think of the status of my Devil Star Palace? The number 1 Devil Palace of the Black Turtle Territory. But this kind of method, forget it, let us first calm down. This Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion's worry-free without a care is very good. Inga, think carefully. As villains, we already cannot turn around. Any mercy is a ridiculous delusion. Do you hate the Devil Star Palace right now? I hate it too, but we still do not have the strength to break free. Guan Ying's eyes had a peculiar luster. 2 guests, would you like anything to drink? A waiter welcomed them with a smile. Several cups of worry-free without a care. Great Saint Starkiller said. We are truly sorry, but there is already no more worry-free without a care. The waiter said. But how, call your proprietress here. Great Saint Starkiller coolly said. Mistress has already left. This Spring Breeze Drunken Rain building has already changed ownership, so worry-free without a care. What? She left? Great Saint Starkiller was shocked. To where? Your servant does not know. The waiter was awkward. Great Saint Starkiller snorted and allowed him to withdraw. He never thought that she would leave. Great Saint Starkiller originally thought that to dangle a star weapon on the front door as they did, they were already prepared to suffer the fate of a starfall at any time. Forget it. Going to Black Turtle Temple is also good. At that time, Guan Ying will also be required to take action, saving me from committing treachery myself. Great Saint Starkiller thought. Bring the best wine your restaurant has. Very well. Inga, allow us to drink to our content for the sake of the goal of ascending Maiden Mountain. Great Saint Starkiller drained the cup in a gulp. Guan Ying did not hesitate at all to seize her wine jug, drinking it clean to the shock of everyone. It was as if she wanted to drink herself away. Palace of Empress Wan Suwen walked along an intertwining corridor. The interior of the Palace of Empress Wa was completely an imperial aura, with the dazzling sight of colored glass and precious gem decorations. Beforehand, she was informed from Zhao Hanyen that the Palace of Empress Wa was divided into 3 levels of top, middle and bottom. The middle level could be entered by anyone, Star Cultivator or Star Master, but the highest level required possession of a star crest to enter. It was completely different from many of Liangshan's ruins. The palace of Empress Hua was a prehistoric palace. The fortunate could find ancient secret books and materials, and the misfortunate could find 10,000 liang of gold. Nobody knew how many treasures the inside of the palace of Empress Hua had. However, 1,000 years had passed, and now Ensuan walked a clearly very empty corridor. The night light pearls that originally used for illumination had all already been taken away. A few floorboards and decorations had been peeled away. Ensuan did not care for these. The palace of Empress was most famous, holy image of Empress Hua. In the palace was purported by legend to be able to condense the tears of Empress Hua once in 100 years. Continuous for 1,000 years, this was the goal of all star masters. The palace of Empress Hua existed in Liangshan continent for 3 days. Time was of the essence, and Ensuan was not reluctant to leave the treasures in these hallways. Walking for a long time, noises suddenly came from in front. Ensuan slowed her pace. It was a very common occurrence for each of the great sects seized the chance to rob the property of other cultivators. Slowly walking down the corridor, there was then a main hall. 2 galaxy cultivators were currently battling. From their attire, they both seemed to be from the Blooming Water Sword sect. That supercluster early stage was unable to continue. He hastily shouted, "Brother Lu, what are you doing? We are senior and junior brothers from the same sect." Senior and junior brothers from the same sect? Then obediently give that fire rhinoceros belt to me. That cultivator named Lu sneered. Suddenly he threw out several talismans. Those talismans became golden light that violently shot out. His opponent threw out an iron shield. The golden light shot into the shield and suddenly scattered into countless sparks. Your servant found this fire rhino belt first. The cultivator grit his teeth, releasing a golden light to protect himself, unwilling to hand it over. The fire rhino belt was a yang cultivation treasure. How could he be so willing to give it up? Cultivator Lu snorted, and his flying swords released golden light at the same time. A glinting golden halberd hung in front of him. Galaxy magic weapon, mountain-breaking halberd. The other party shouted, promptly placing the shield in front of him. Senior brother, stop. Your servant shall give this fire rhino belt to senior brother. He hastily cried. Die, idiot. Cultivator Lu sneered. The mountain-breaking halberd moved. With a boom, the halberd slammed into the shield. The shield shattered. The cultivator turned to run, but his stomach was pierced through. Since you are here in this palace of Empress Hua, you must be prepared to die. Not only junior brother's fire rhino belt, but senior brother wants your other things, haha. Cultivator Lu laughed aloud. He extended a hand to take the astral bag. No one cared about this death in the palace of Empress Hua anyways. Hey! Suddenly, Cultivator Lu whirled around and pointed. That mountain-breaking halberd transformed into a golden light. The wall was blown apart. Oh, so it was a beauty. Cultivator Lu had long already sensed Ensuan. Seeing that the girl lacked the strength to even truss a chicken, he laughed. You saw everything just now. This palace of Empress Hua is truly great. Killing and robbing people is inevitable and right. What a delight. He beckoned. The flying swords cried. Ensuan gently shook her head, suddenly gesturing with her delicate hands. A green hurricane rose steeply and pounced upon Cultivator Lu. What is this? Cultivator Lu turned pale from fright. The flying swords and artifacts hastily slashed. That hurricane surrounded him in the blink of an eye. Astonishingly, it was thousands of individual slim dragon-like demon beasts. He was too late to let out a scream. When the storm passed, Cultivator Lu was already a lifeless corpse, leaving behind only his astral bag as a sign he had ever come by. At this time, a weak voice came from behind her. Ensuan did not dare be careless, and she had the essence-swallowing dragons gather around her body. There was a weak moan, and a figure walked out from the dark corridor. Ensuan was taken aback. A young girl with white clothes that surpassed snow walked out, but those white clothes had been parted by a glaring spatter of blood, soaking it in red. The girl was considerably wan, a wound deep enough to show bone below her ribs. Gong Kaiwei leaned against the wall. Although she had sustained heavy injury, she still was very tenacious. "Are you all right?" And Suwon ran over. Without any hesitation, she produced the child and mother-linked heart's needles and stuck them into Gong Caiwei's body, activating life-returning magic hands. Gong Caiwei was stunned. She did not think that the young girl in front of her would save her. "You are the efficacious star, why save me, who injured elder sister?" And Suwon asked in astonishment. "This place has an assassin." Gong Caiwei's pale face gradually regained color. The ice spirit Snow Soul's eyes gazed at Suwon in confusion. "Why would you want to save me?" Gong Caiwei asked again. "Big brother would make Suwon save you too." And Suwon's tone was tender. Gong Caiwei frowned. Big brother, the first thing to jump into her mind was the Su Xing that said to her, "I don't need a reason to save people." It cannot be the efficacious star's big brother? Gong Caiwei could not understand. Black Turtle Temple opened on the last day of Evil Smiting Hall. The location was in the depths of the Black Turtle Sea. Zhang Yuqi approached, and Su Xing rushed over together with her. On a small island, many countless cultivators were already crowding. However, Su Xing did not go to that packed island. Rather, he followed Zhang Yuqi water escape to a nearby islet. According to her words, Shiyu preferred quiet. On one island, there was a vaguely visible red amidst a pure white. When he drew closer, he could see a beautiful girl's face. Su Xing. The water illusion fairy from far away appeared to be a solitary orchid, making people unable to draw near, but immediately after Su Xing came, this solitary orchid suddenly turned into a water fairy. Shiyu somewhat sighed emotionally. Spotting the water illusion fairy, Su Xing was a bit startled. What should he say? The Shiyu at this moment was like an orchid, her countenance gorgeous. She wore a seemingly traditional Han long gown. Her attire surpassed snow, and her feet were clad in phoenix boots. Her black hair hung at her shoulders, glossy like silk. A string of vermilion and white intertwined on a damask embroidered with cryptic script that bound her streaming black hair, emitting an ancient charm. A pair of limpid eyes had pressing spiritual power, completely without blemish. Her lips were the color of peaches, a considerably absolute beauty. If she was on Earth, she absolutely could kill instantly with a look. For Su Xing to not have such a big reaction upon seeing Shiyu for the first time, the Zhang Feiyu to the side twitched her lips. Zhang Yuqi smirked. The water illusion fairy truly is seeing her boyfriend in her best clothes. Shiyu's face turned red, somewhat bashful. "Hey, is this that man you said would be accompanying you?" A cold snort came from a person beside Shiyu. Su Xing came back to his senses, and only then did he take note of the man and woman beside the young girl. Although their attire was not as magnificent as the girl before him, they were full of grace. The girl that spoke hoarsely shouted, "Surprisingly a supercluster star master. Shiyu, do you truly believe in him?" The other middle-aged man cast a glance at Su Xing. There was also Hu Sanyang beside Su Xing, leaving him somewhat confused. This man and woman were of supercluster middle stage and late stage cultivation, great elders of the illusion and reality sect. This time, they were following Shiyu together into the Black Turtle Temple. Shiyu cast an apologetic expression. "Do you still doubt the man that Feiyu's little sister looked upon?" Zhang Feiyu said in displeasure. The two great elders did not say much more. "Take it." That great elder that looked like a young woman threw a jade pendant over. Su Xing already knew the rules of Black Turtle Temple. The Black Turtle Territory's great sects laid a forbid dance on Black Turtle Sea. Only those that used this jade pendant could enter. Rather than say it was a guard against other sects, it was better to say this was to deliberately make some top-notch star generals unable to enter. This also was the advantage of a sect. Then, they explained the situation of the Black Turtle Temple. Not long after, the other islands saw a boundless escape light, and black clouds arrived one by one. They landed on each of the summits. Shiyu explained to Su Xing that each was an influential sect. The influence of Black Turtle Territory's Star Masters was far from that of the Azure Dragon Territories. The distribution they were at very wonderful. Other than 5 great sects of 1 devil palace and 4 devil sects acting as chiefs, there were also 2 influential star maidens. One was the Black Turtle Sea's overlords, 3 Ruan's water fort, Su Xing, and the others had crossed paths with 2 of the 3 Ruans. Naturally, he knew the might of this water fort. The other was the ruler of the 9 Dragons Sea, 9 Dragons Palace. Its imperial empress was Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragons Shurjin. Even the Devil Star Palace was not at all willing to provoke their influence. Speaking of Shurjin, why did she become the imperial empress of the 9 Dragons Palace? Su Xing was still perplexed after much thought about this mystery. This will have to be traced back to the previous star duels. Zhang Feiyu chuckled with a considerably jealous expression. What do you mean? Su Xing asked. He knew that noble star Little Whirlwind Chai Ling had placed herself outside of matters pertaining to the star duels, so each generation of star duels she could pass on what was considered the abnormal operating business of Liangshan. However, this was the first time he heard of another star general doing so. Zhang Feiyu also was not too clear on the minutiae. She only knew that the previous 9 Tattooed Dragon operated the 9 Dragons Palace together with several other star generals. At that time, they still relied on every sort of method to turn the 9 Dragons Palace into the overlord of the 9 Dragons Sea region. After the star duels finished, the 9 Dragons Palace was turned over to a sword cultivator named Lu Tianya for safekeeping. This Lu Tianya's birth name was Lang Pe, yet he had considerable tricks. Later, after he had the fortune to obtain the Purple Star Astral Treasure 9 Dragon Seal, he made the 9 Dragons Palace like the sun in the sky. To speak of it, it was somewhat odd. After this generation of star duels began, this Lu Tianya once again gave the position of Imperial Empress to this generation's Shurjin, which made everyone confused. However, come to think of it, there was an origin with the previous star duel. 9 Dragon Seal. Su Xing suddenly recalled Qingxi's astral treasure. His brow tightly creased. That Lu Tianya didn't sign a contract with Shurjin? No. After the previous Wu Song became overlord without signing a contract, this generation's Shurjin is also imitating her, Shiyu answered. Zhang Feiyu coldly snorted disdainfully. If you can't scale Maiden Mountain, what use is there in becoming the overlord? Elder sister, you're gravely mistaken. Zhang Yuqi winked. How can elder sister be wrong? Zhang Feiyu twitched her lips. Little sister once received Shurjin's invitation. I heard her say that these star duels have anomalies, and that there is no need to rely on a star master to be able to ascend Maiden Mountain. Zhang Yuqi's words made Zhang Feiyu surprised. Following the boatman's even greater disdain, however, she is using enticing words to lure other star generals. What is she planning? How would I, Feiyu, not know? Is she not thinking of assembling sisters to help expand her 9 Dragons Palace, and then eradicate the Devil Star Palace? Is the anomaly referring to Milord Su Xing? Shiyu brows frowned. The Zhang sisters were astonished, as if they felt this was somewhat logical. Su Xing did not confirm nor deny their words. Rather, he still thought of one person, Qingxi of the Uprising. It seems there is need to use some trick to understand Qingxi's identity, background, and capabilities. Su Xing muttered to himself, making a decision. What is Milord mumbling about? Shiyu listened in. I'm thinking that the 9 Tattooed Dragons affairs are so mysterious, the next time I can, I'll go seek out Chai Ling for information. The noble star's influence was vast, her information reached the heavens, and she ought to understand something like this inheritance. Young Su even knows noble star Little Whirlwind Chai Jin? Zhang Yuqi covered her mouth. I only helped her capture her star beast once before, that's all. Su Xing smiled. What? Is this man joking? You unexpectedly can obtain the noble star's trust? Zhang Feiyu said in disbelief. Even if she was in the faraway Black Turtle territory, she also knew of Chai Ling's advantages and disadvantages. In the successive star duels, never had a noble star dare believe in a star master. Anomaly, could this actually be referring to him? Zhang Feiyu's expression was strange. Zhang Yuqi smiled pleasantly. For even noble star Little Whirlwind to be able to believe in you, Yuchi's eyesight honestly is good. A long while after, the surrounding islands were filled with more and more sect cultivators. Each hilltop was full of people, an inauspicious air soaring into the sky. The Black Turtle Temple was a place that possessed countless valuables, and even gems and spirit medicines could be encountered. Thus, each cultivator very much wanted a share of the goods. In her spare time, Xiu sought out Su Xing for a chat. She indirectly inquired about if Su Xing was well or not. How could Su Xing not recognize the fondness in those eyes? But Su Xing himself nevertheless did not feel any feelings of chemistry, even if the girl dressed so splendidly. However, Su Xing originally did not believe in anything like love at first sight. This sort of thing just followed the course of nature. At the very least, a star master like the water illusion fairy being his companion was not a bad thing. Su Xing's absent-mindedness nevertheless made the people of the other sects on the island somewhat itch to quickly kill him. Seeing the renowned water illusion fairy surprisingly dress her best honestly was a sight for their eyes, but seeing her chat so amiably with a man they had never seen before, their hearts seemed to leak blood. If it was not for the obstruction of the two elders and the water illusion fairy, they would have already joined in opposition against this common enemy. Su Xing was rather speechless to see their hatred. Since ancient times, femme fatale were always around. It seemed before even entering the Black Turtle Temple, he had become the public enemy. The others did not dare speak, but some did not think this way. A perilous situation arose. An enormous green-scaled dragon alligator, a dragon king beast, and a white-furred sea ape appeared on the ocean, moving towards the illusion and reality sect. The three terrifying star beasts were grand in might. The seawater was divided into several dozen zhang sea waves, and that white-furred ape among them was especially extraordinary. With water blue and golden eyes, its body had flower markings. Its mouth parted, revealing fangs, as if it was grinning. Its four limbs were huge, particularly that bright and dark alternating ocean blue armor the sea ape was draped in. Its hand gripped a sword and a shield. The bright and dark reflected. Standing on water, it was practically like a galactic water god. Blue Wave's underworld quail. 2. Su Xing very quickly recognized the name of this star beast. Ranked 8th on the star beast list, it just so happened to be lower than Lin Yingmei's snow-treading frost-eye beast by 1 rank. Su Xing had a very deep impression, particularly this Blue Wave's underworld quail name. This underworld quail sea ape carried a mighty woman. She wore a pink tube top and a palace dress of rippling sleeves. Her askew horse bun was stuck with 2 white cloud golden hairpins through the sides. 1,000 waves golden hoops decorated her waist, appearing perfectly fine without losing any luxury. Her golden eyes were particularly imposing, her willow brows like smoke carrying slight beauty. Beside this woman were Ruan Xiaowu and Ruan Xiaoqi. The former looked at Su Xing and ground her teeth while the latter still looked indifferently through her children's picture book amidst the wind and waves. There was no need to say it. The identity of the woman sitting on the Blue Wave's underworld quail was on call. Sword Star Tai Sui who stands his ground Ruan Xiao. 3. The 3 Ruan's water fort's prestige was vast. They had mobilized 50 or 60 cultivators of extraordinary cultivation. The cultivators on the side of the road withdrew in shock and anger. Su Xing had originally thought to use the birth treasure outline to illuminate the background of this Ruan shower, but recalling that he was being eyed by other star masters and had become everyone's object of hate, he endured the urge. Their other chances, anyways. Zhang Yuqi, Zhang Feiyu, you sluts. The 3 Ruan's water fort arrived, and Ruan Pinger indignantly cursed them. A little foul-footer like you dares curse me? Zhang Feiyu's hand gripped the flaming fish king saber and was about to attack. A flying sword stopped her. Pinger, Ruan Jiner shouted. Ruan Pinger snorted unwillingly. Last time's defeat was certainly still on her mind. She truly hated this pompous couple to death. Why would Fort Master Ruan Jiner have the leisure to find our illusion and reality sect for a chat? That young-looking female illusion and reality sect elder smiled. Ruan Jiner glanced at her, not caring at all for her. She only stared at Su Xing. Wan Mayer's gaze also lifted her gaze from the children's picture book onto Su Xing's body. This time, we have come only to seek a justice. Your pair of sisters helped a star master bully my Ruan sisters. I want an explanation. Ruan Jiner coldly said. Water illusion fairy Shiyu said, Sword Star, you do not properly manage your Ruan sisters who make trouble out of nothing. You kicked the floorboard yourself, yet you do not blame their rudeness. You still wish us to give you an explanation? The water illusion fairy's words were sharp, rather in spite of Ruan Jin. The two elders were somewhat astonished, however. This was a matter between Star General and Star Master. They could not easily intervene. White stripe in the waves. Boatman, have you made your decision to stand at the side of this Star Master? Ruan Jiner calmly asked. And what of it? Shiyu was neither servile nor overbearing. This man possesses the birth treasure outline. Do you believe in him? Ruan Jiner once again asked. The voice of Sword Star Tai Sui, who stands his ground, was not loud, yet it was sufficient to allow the surrounding several dozen people at the sea hear clearly. Su Xing thought that this woman's schemes were too deep. The things he previously had misgivings about had been seen through by Ruan Jiner. This woman nevertheless was ruthless. Su Xing immediately felt several icy stares aim at him. I forgot until you mentioned it. Su Xing smiled. He extended his hand and flipped out the birth treasure outline. Star position, Sword Star Star name, Ruan Shower nickname, Tai Sui who stands his ground true name, Ruan Jiner rank, 27th star weapon, Azure Seas Green Duckweed, 4 star, Star Beast, Blue Waves Underworld Quail, 5 realm, matchless 5th stage innate skill, Sword Chant 5 elements, Water Yellow rank special move, Death Sentence Beheading 6, Dark rank special move, Duckweed are broken / curtain flower canopy shadow reversed, 7, current status, no contractor, can be conquered. Detailed materials. Matchless 5th stage? This martial force realm was high enough to surprise Su Xing. Shiyu, Zhang Feiyu and the others showed expressions of astonishment. The water illusion fairy immediately calmed down, indifferently saying, Shiyu has already made her decision to follow Milord. Ruan Jiner, anything you say is useless. Ruan Jiner did not anticipate that the water illusion fairy would say something so shocking. The seas seemed to explode. Water illusion fairy, you are serious? Ruan Jiner hid her own feelings very well. Shiyu disdained to reply. It seems you have found a very good patron. If only it were possible for this patron in Black Turtle Temple to allow you to be even more like a fish back in water compared to us 3 Ruans. Ruan Jiner nodded, her tone already hiding her killing intent. The Black Turtle Temple was the test run for the 3 heavenly books. Shiyu did not doubt one bit that this Sword Star Tai Sui who stands his ground had made preparations long ago to face Star Masters inside the temple. You had best not run into us. Ruan Pinger made a scary face. Let us go. Ruan Jiner waved her hand. All of the water fort cultivators then flew towards an island. The other cultivators on the island could only leave one by one upon seeing this. Did you offend the 3 Ruans? Su Xing put away the birth treasure outline. However, he immediately recalled that the influence of both sides were just like fire and water, indifferent to offending or not offending each other. Is Milord unwilling to believe in Shiyu? The water illusion fairy said in a small voice. This actually isn't the case. Su Xing shook his head. The Black Turtle Temple. We had better be careful of the 3 Ruans. Looking at Ruan Jiner's back. This sword star seems to be very powerful, a 4-star destined weapon. What do martial arts count for? What is most terrifying is that this sword star is capable of using sword chants. Zhang Feiyu stuck out her lips. Sword chant. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Could it be that her innate skill is to use the flying swords of cultivators? The water illusion fairy nodded. Su Xing and Hun Yangzi looked at each other in dismay. The sword star has acquired more than 100 of the Black Turtle Territory's sword chants, but the most terrifying aspect is that she controls more than 1,000 flying swords. The water illusion fairy sighed. During the birth treasure outline phase, she once battled the sword star. Only by coordinating with Zhang Feiyu could she only just barely face the Sword Star. If the other Ruan sisters fought together, they could only suffer defeat. Su Xing looked pensively. He finally understood why the three Ruan's water fort could flourish. It seemed the contributions of this sword chant art could not go unnoticed. As he thought this, the skies suddenly rolled with thunder. Su Xing raised his head to look. He spotted a 9 dragons aromatic cart emerged from the clouds. In front was a palace girl raising a lantern, and the rear was followed by armored guards hefting weapons, their imposing manner incomparable. Gasps of astonishment suddenly erupted. The 9 dragons palace leisurely took the stage. Truly a great imposing aura. If it was not for misgivings about the Star General's Maiden Mountain, we could have long already destroyed this 9 dragons palace. Just when everyone was drawn in by the 9 dragons aromatic cart, some people were disdainful. Ming Dai sneered. Lady Ming Dai, this 9 tattooed dragon's Shijin is a troublesome opponent. Great Saint Starkiller muttered. This black turtle temple actually is interesting. Ming Dai's gaze once again landed on Su Xing's body. Birth treasure outline? Ming Dai raised her eyebrows and eerily smiled when she heard this information. That water illusion fairy truly has good tricks, to unexpectedly know a man with the birth treasure outline. You two go ask about for information what that man's background is. Ming Dai ordered several disciples. Could this man be the Purple Thunder monster? Great Saint Starkiller knew that 3 of the 4 birth treasure outlines were under ownership. Only the White Tiger territories was missing in whereabouts, but the dangers of the White Tiger territory were absolutely not for the average cultivator, let alone obtaining the birth treasure outline. The Purple Thunder monster? That man that is overturning heaven and earth in the Azure Dragon territory? Ming Dai smiled. This is actually to the liking of our Devil Star Palace. Ingo, we must be careful in the future. Great Saint Starkiller ordered. If it was not for you letting go the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion Star Generals, there would be no need for such trouble. Ming Dai sneered. Great Saint Starkiller forced a laugh. He did not know how he should explain this, for the Star Maidens of the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion could be so ostentatious only if they embraced the attitude of Starfall. This contrarily made the other sect Star Masters let them go for the time being, but who would have thought they would change ideas in spite of their restaurant? Disciple heard that beforehand, a Star Master and some of these Star Generals battled at the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. Some of the cultivators spotted the D-New Heavenly Phoenix. The D-New Heavenly Phoenix, the second most powerful star beast on the star beast list. However, compared to this, its master was even more unforgettable, Leisure Star Dragon in the clouds Gong Sun Sheng, the Star General #1 in magic energy. The Devil Palace cannot easily meddle with the affairs of these star duels. You must look for a way yourselves. A black butterfly flew onto Ming Dai's fingertip. The woman indifferently answered, pausing for a moment to give a profound expression. Do not make Devil Ancestor disappointed. Disciple does not dare. Great Saint Starkiller gravely replied. Brave Star Guaning, you had best renounce that ridiculous conviction. Ming Dai saw the mocking expression of that nearby Guaning who had been silent all the way until now. Brave Star Great Blade Guaning gave this super void middle stage female cultivator a look not good in the slightest. Ming Dai did not mind either. She knew that these top-notch martial force star generals had an arrogant dignity. Super void middle stage cultivators perhaps could move about Liangshan continent unhindered, but as far as they were concerned, this was basically not worth a mention. The previous plan to fell the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion star generals had unexpectedly died out prematurely, making her not see the scene of trampling on a star general's dignity. She knew that forcing Guaning any further perhaps would have gains that did not make up the losses. Thus she raised 3 black pearls. Guaning, take them. These are... Great Saint Starkiller was stunned. These are Yin soul pearls, specially concentrated with Yin spirit and Yin energy. These pearls can allow you to reduce the Devil Star might of the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Guan Ying's brow wrinkled, not believing her at all. So long as you bring the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune pill to Devil Ancestor, Devil Ancestor has agreed to not only have the Devil Star Palace to do its utmost to help you upgrade your star weapon to 6-star, Devil Ancestor himself has the power to help you remove this 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Guaning smirked. How could she believe such an extravagantly embellished promise? Guansheng, do not be unable to differentiate good and bad. Ming Dai unhappily said, the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone is still our sect-guarding item. If it was not for seeing you defeated so embarrassingly, how could we have given it to you? Your Frostfair blade is now already without any room to return. Could it be said that you are prepared to face Lin Chong barehanded in the future star duels? Inga. Great Saint Starkiller shot a glance at her. Be at ease, this general naturally will make an all-out effort. Regardless of Shi Jin or the Purple Thunder Monster, this general will not hesitate at all. Guan Ying grabbed the 3 Yin Soul Pearls and stored it at her waist. This is good. Ming Dai smiled. On an island 10 li away from the Devil Star Palace's islet, Black Chi at this time soared into the sky. The Yin Soul did not disperse. Shiyu, do you want to give up on this Black Turtle Temple? An old man with yellowing skin turned his head and asked with concern. 9 tattooed dragons Shi Jin, the 3 Ruan's water fort, Guansheng, the holy lord of draconic demon that had contracted double stars, and a water illusion fairy teaming up with a star master in possession of the birth treasure outline, this Black Turtle Temple lineup could be described as a bit too strong. He addressed the Fiend Spirit Sect's Soul Star Master Jiang Xiutu with particular distress. The man behind him had a grand and impressive appearance. His cultivation was at the peak of galaxy, but he nevertheless was full of self-confidence. Elder 5 Calamities, please be at ease. Although the enemy is very strong, the Black Turtle Temple is within the deep sea. With Hudi at my side, Xiu still will have a chance to loot a burning house. Jiang Xiu slightly smiled, asking, Hudi, will you shrink back? A young woman wearing gaudy clothing walked out from space. Her blue long skirt was bound high up on her waist. Her coat, brocade and short jacket stuck to her waist that was slim as a willow. The skirt dragged behind due to its extreme length. This made people think of a poem. Her skirt sweeps 6 spans of the Xiangjiang River. The girl addressed as Hudi tenderly smiled. Hudi will also do her utmost. Although Guansheng is bold and powerful, Hudi cares only about the 3 Ruans and the Zhang sisters. Elder 5 Calamities nodded. He was very appreciative of Jiang Xiu's self-confidence. Very quickly, several dozen islands were already giving rise to different phenomena. Some were enveloped in multicolored light, some rolled with black chi, some whined with the sounds of ghosts, and others were dead calm, auspicious and peaceful. Su Xing took a little look around. The islands were already gathered full of people. Each and every one of the Black Turtle Territory's prestigious sects and star masters that should have come, had come. You both had better do your best. The Illusion and Reality sects' 2 elders left behind these words and flew into the sky. The other islands each also launched multicolored escape lights. These escape lights were each of the elder cultivators of the great sects that had come. Each had extraordinary abilities, and among them, a woman of supervoid stage surrounded by black butterflies made Su Xing feel particular chills. All fellows, if you would please. Ming Dai slightly smiled. Fellow Ming Dai, if you would please. These elder cultivators formed hand seals and raised magic weapons. Light rays intersected in every direction, twisting to form a net. A sea range of 100 li suddenly was covered by it, for they had established a powerful forbid dance magic circle. Su Xing immediately felt a terrifying pressure push against him. He was unable to move, and after flipping out the jade pendant, a ray of cold light flashed. Only then did he get through. Honestly, such an extravagant style. Forbid dances, Liangshan continent's most inconceivable power that more than a dozen powerful cultivators could only barely form by working together. Is there any need? Hunyangzi did not understand. Xia heard that in the past star duels, other star generals were inextricably locked in battle inside Black Turtle Temple, being taken advantage of by other sneaky star masters. Afterwards, sneak attack starfalls were many, and for the sake of avoiding having more occurrences like these, those great sects would set up a forbid dance beforehand. In the case outsiders enter, they would need to stop thinking of leaving. Shi Yu explained. So it turned out to be this. Su Xing was enlightened. This had to be the sandpiper and clam going to war against each other, only for the fishermen to catch them both. Seeing this situation, Su Xing suddenly recalled the Azure Dragon Territory's palace of Empress Hua. He wondered how Yan Yizhen and Ensuan were. Just as he thought this, Zhang Yuqi reminded him. Young Su, we should go. N. 100-li range of sea shook with a rumble. The islands seemed to be leaves caught in a storm, each of them incapable of supporting all of the cultivators, jolting without stability. An enormous rumble. 100 zhang tall wave rocketed into the sky, directly entering the clouds. A downpour rained down, splashing down a large expanse of raindrops. Young Su, we should go. Zhang Yuqi reminded. A giant counterclockwise whirlpool appeared on the sea. The island's other cultivators soared into the sky and threw themselves into the whirlpool. Water illusion fairy Shi Yu raised a blue, water-parting damask, and a blue light glimmered that swirled and wrapped around her. The Black Turtle Temple was located in the sea. As far as cultivators were concerned, this was an extremely great trial. Su Xing also used the water avoidance pearl and other water-repelling items. Countless escape lights flocked directly into the vortex. Su Xing was not in a rush at all. Let's wait a bit first. Shi Yu settled her mind. Those dragon snake good fortune pills can't possibly be obtained so quickly anyways. There's no advantage at all in going first. Zhang Yuqi agreed. The water illusion fairy nodded. A while afterwards, after several hundred escape lights had first disappeared into the vortex, the star masters of the other islands began to move. When Su Xing saw this, he and the girls entered the sea at the same time. After passing through a turbulence of gray mist, Su Xing was stupefied by the scene in front of him. Below the deep sea, a giant undersea palace towered that overlooked the landscape. At the ends of the palace was an abyss his line of sight was unable to penetrate, a murky depth where this palace seemed to spring up from. The palace's ramparts were crowded with coral reefs that grew with countless aquatic plants. Under the ocean's flow, the grasses gently swayed, like an ancient scroll frozen in an instant of history. Su Xing only recovered his senses from the ancient gravitas of these with great difficulty before he began to search for an entrance. He discovered that in the surroundings of this palace were innumerable doors. After the entry of the cultivators, those gates would automatically close then reopen. Su Xing knew that this was the Black Turtle Temple's gate of the Black Turtle, which concealed a teleportation array. It was able to send a cultivator into a random spot within. The fortunate could reach deep-sea areas while the unfortunate would perhaps become the dessert of some sea demon within the Black Turtle Temple. Su Xing's group traveled in a line into the same door. The scene flashed, and Su Xing appeared in a magnificent room. The walls were carved with countless prehistoric murals, a single continuous piece, and in the center was a platform. Even if this was interior of the Black Turtle Temple, it was still surrounded by seawater. He could see innumerable aquatic grasses and coral, every sort of fish, prawn, crab and worm. Wife, are you all right? Su Xing turned his head to ask with concern but was taken aback. Other than White Stripe in the waves, Zhang Yuqi behind him, the other girls were already gone from his sight. Young Su, wife is very well. Zhang Yuqi seemingly smiled. Then good. Su Xing muddled through. Zhang Yuqi shot him a glance. Have they all been teleported away? Su Xing wrinkled his brow. It seems that positions aren't fixed. You didn't have your wife enter the star nest? Zhang Yuqi was a bit surprised. Su Xing shook his head. She doesn't like the star nest. So you allow her to go? Zhang Yuqi was even more curious. I have never forced anyone to do anything. Su Xing, you truly love her. Zhang Yuqi shone the white water mirror heart. As expected of White Stripe in the waves, she moved freely within the water, shuttling back and forth as if she was flying. Gong Sun Huang emerged from the star nest. She used star energy to protect against the seawater's assault. The little lowly frowned very severely at the scene before her eyes. She discovered that in the sea, the star energy of the leisure star that was number on in magic energy already lost its dominance. Other than her dark rank, her other required supportive wind and cloud magic were incapable of use. This is the world of water generals, just leave it to Yuqi. Zhang Yuqi patted her chest. Right now, let's quickly go to the Black Turtle Idol. Su Xing did not want to delay. He did not feel like paying attention to the other things in Black Turtle Temple. Black Turtle Temple happens once every 100 years, and it has lots of valuable treasures. Young Su, do you actually not need to look? Zhang Yuqi smiled. I'll release divine intent and scan as we go. That's awfully convenient, however, careful that you don't provoke some powerful demon beasts. Zhang Yuqi always hung that very leisurely smile. Su Xing nodded, showing he understood. Just when Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi rushed for Black Turtle Temple's deepest lair, at another inner palace 50 li away, a man appeared. This man donned black armor and was draped in a black cloak. His hawk-like eyes brimmed with evil. The space at the man's side warped, and out walked two beauties. One was similarly clad in black armor and robes, her gaze like a devil's, letting out chills. The other was of a dignified bearing, of noble manner. Ming'er Xiangfei. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demons sneered. Holy Lord? The ranked 61st correct star demon king of chaos Fan Ming evilly grinned. Does Holy Lord have some order? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon wore a twisted smile. We shall go kill the purple thunder monster and take his birth treasure outline. Has the purple thunder monster come? The other star general at the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's side, River Dragon Li Xiangfei, had an expression that was not sightly at all. It is certain to be him. How could something like the birth treasure outline just be there? Furthermore, although that man's appearance is not the same, he must have used an appearance-altering art before. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon confidently said, his expression cold and strict. But that purple thunder monster has Lin Chong, Yan Qing, Fan Ming sternly warned. This Holy Lord knows, but this place is the sea. Top-notch martial force star generals also will suffer a decrease in strength. This is our sole chance to be able to kill him. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had already thought of things. The purple thunder monster was too cunning and wily. Other than by teaming up in the future star duels, there would be basically no way to defeat him. He had contracted 2, but the other purple thunder monster had contracted at least 5 or 6, which drove the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon nearly mad. But that man and the Zhang sisters have a very good relationship. Li Xiangfei did not forget to once again remind the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon who was about to lose his reason in the middle of his fury. Such a man that was incapable of calm made the river dragon knit her brow. He truly did not have the qualifications to become her master. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon calmed down, but upon recalling that the water illusion fairy unexpectedly adored that man, he again wanted to blow his top. Damn it, this truly is fucking ridiculous. The water illusion fairy has unexpectedly fallen in love with him, truly unreasonable. Ming'er thinks she probably knows the might of the purple thunder monster, so she is thinking of using this as a pretext for an alliance. Fan Ming surmised. Although this was possible, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon knew that it could only be life or death between him and the purple thunder monster, with absolutely no good possibilities. Could it be that we are unable to kill him in our own domain? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was honestly sullen and nearly used a roar to utter a disgusting phrase. This Holy Lord's River Dragon Water General is so unbearable. The two girls were silent. What star duels do these count as? Is Maiden Mountain trash? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon cursed. Fan Ming shook her head, coldly saying, Young master, there is actually still a way. Ming'er, what way do you have? Young master, could it be you forgot? Our objective in coming to Black Turtle Temple. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had an epiphany. He laughed. Not bad, All Star Master and Star Generals have come to Black Turtle Temple inevitably for the Dragon's Snake Great Good Fortune Pill. The Purple Thunder Monster is no exception. So long as we wait for him to appear, we can uncover his identity at that time. This Holy Lord believes all Star Generals will team up then. Exactly. That the Zhang sisters have also offended the Three Ruans Water Fort is also a chance. Li Xiangfei nodded. Shi Jin, Guan Xing, the Three Ruans, even if this Purple Thunder Monster is any more exceedingly high, he cannot so easily flee this calamity. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was somewhat excited. Just the thought alone of this scene was enough to excite him. Good, we shall quickly go to the Black Turtle Idol. His demon sword fluttered, and the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon broke through the water and escaped. He glanced at the cultivators of the other great sects, seizing their chances inside Black Turtle Temple. He smirked. The 9 Phantasms 10 Bane's capital demon swords black shadows emerged in layers. The cultivators lost their heads out of fear, scattering in all directions, their screams continuous. The cultivators along the wayside were consumed with nothing left by the devil swords. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon laughed aloud. You idiots are perfect feed for this Holy Lord's demon sword. And Suwen and Gong Kaiwei walked along the corridor. Dimly lit with candles, the mottled palace walls were cast with elongated shadows. Gong Tsaiwei's snow-like attire had been stained with the red clouds of blood, making the girl appear to have an exceptional sort of cold courage. Gong Kaiwei lowered her head and did not utter a thing, as if she was somewhat preoccupied. And elder sister Tsaiwei's Star General? And Suwen broke the silence. Zhu Sha is resting, Gong Kaiwei calmly said. And Suwen paused, silent. Elder sister said before that assassin is investigative star Mu Hong, a very powerful elder sister to be careful of. Hers is a star master of the most high path. Their footsteps stopped, and slight astonishment flashed past Gong Kaiwei. The girl very quickly recovered her calm, continuing her shuffle. So it was the investigative star assassin. Fortunately, elder sister is all right. Gong Kaiwei sighed. After she and Zhu Sha entered the palace of Empress Hua, they very smoothly penetrated several levels into the palace. They did not expect they would suddenly sustain an attack. That investigative star was worthy of her name as a first-rate assassin. Unlike presence restraining arts, she completely hid in the middle of open space and remained undetected to Gong Kaiwei. Furthermore, the opponent's actions were considerably decisive and ruthless. She completely was aiming for Gong Tsaiwei's weak point. If it was not for Zhu Sha using her own body to protect her master, Gong Kaiwei perhaps would have perished. Even so, Gong Kaiwei still sustained a cut. Thank you. Your big brother and I are merely strangers that came together by chance, nothing more. Gong Tsaiwei's tone was gentle. However, big brother admires you very much. And Suwen softly smiled. Big brother often says that it would be great if he could cooperate with elder sister Kaiwei to contend against Maiden Mountain. Gong Kaiwei was taken aback. He has actually said this? And Suwen nodded. With Lin Chong and little sister Suwen, he has no need to join hands with Kaiwei. These star duels are in his bag. Wrong, big brother does not want the position of Maiden Mountain's overlord. And Suwen earnestly answered, Big brother only wishes to end the cycle of the star duels for the sake of our sisters, to not suffer the pain of internecine strife. Gong Kaiwei nodded, an expression of, I am not the least bit surprised he thinks like this. I hear that the overlord can obtain a wish. Perhaps it can be achieved. Gong Kaiwei faintly replied. And Suwen shook her head and smiled. Right? Will elder sister Kaiwei not leave the palace of Empress Hua right now? And Suwen recalled that with Gong Tsaiwei's star general dead, to contest for the tears of Empress Hua had already become extremely uncertain. I will not allow Zhu Sha's sacrifice to have been in vain. The immortal hero princess was exceptionally resolute. The girl walked 100 steps. A shadow in a corner suddenly thrust out cold light. A clear slamming sound. Gong Tsaiwei's snow-tracing sword stabbed, and a dragon was slashed out. Kacha. The ground split apart with cracks. You still think you can succeed a second time? Gong Kaiwei pointed a hand seal. Several dozen ice spirit snow soul flying swords circled around. The sword wind poured out ice cold, directly freezing this main hall. A shadow gradually appeared in the ice and frost. A woman of tall stature gripped 3-star double sabers. Her presence was chilly. What made people alarmed was a black specter along her back, bearing its claws and fangs. Star Beast Dark Karma? Gong Tsaiwei's brows knit together. This was but an assassin's perfect combination. The second time was unable to succeed, but do you think you can break free of the third time? Investigative Star Unrestrained Mu Qingying sneered. Immortal Hero Princess, Efficacious Star, today you will become the first people to starfall in the palace of Empress Hua. The Dark Karma's specter blazed like flames. Mu Qingying's presence completely vanished, her baleful aura flooded the space. And Suwen's finger pointed. The child and mother-linked heart's needles glowed with multicolored light, spiraling in the surroundings. Then, the essence-swallowing dragons also flew out and became a storm that defended them. Essence-swallowing dragons, little sister Efficacious Star truly has assets. A sneer came from nothingness. Suddenly, the essence-swallowing dragon screamed, a sound like an unstoppable buzzsaw. The green storm was then severed. Several dozen essence-swallowing dragons immediately were killed into dust. Essence-swallowing dragons could consume the spirit chi of the world, but as far as the essence-swallowing dragons were concerned, a Star General star weapon was too sharp, completely incapable of being eaten. Go! Following the deaths of more than a dozen essence-swallowing dragons, this made investigative Star Mu Qingying show her figure. Gong Kaiwei seized the chance to control her ice spirit snow soul flying swords into slashing over. Before the ice-cold sword chi even drew near, Mu Qingying already vanished. Recall the essence-swallowing dragons? This is being wasteful. The ice spirit snow soul flying swords circled around, their bone-chilling sword chi weaving like silk. And Suwen hesitated. When she saw that the essence-swallowing dragons were truly helpless against the investigative star, she then called them back. They lost the barrier of the essence-swallowing dragons. Green light attacked without delay. Black ice point. Gong Tsaiwei's white fingers snapped. An ice-blue arc of light shot forth, stabbing just like a sharp sword. Mu Qingqing's flowing frost and moon shadow interlocked. She easily cut apart the black ice point, yet Gong Kaiwei remained expressionless. Her fingers kept snapping, and black ice sword light directly shot forth continuously from the girl's slender fingers, stabbing directly at Mu Qingying. Even if she was the investigative star, she was incapable of breaking free. Sword array, 1 wisp dead spirit. 2. Gong Tsaiwei's hand seals suddenly changed. The ice spirit snow soul swords instantly flashed with an icy fine lady's true spirit. More than 50 icy flying swords whirled around at the same time in the surroundings, letting out a humming cry. Then they gathered above. White light radiated, and all of the flying swords instantly combined into one, transforming into an absolutely gorgeous fine lady immortal. Immediately, cold wind and ice and snow once again rose. The expression of the fine lady immortal exploded with a snowstorm, suddenly becoming a glarding cold wind directly twisting towards Mu Qingying. Puchi! 3. Just as Gong Tsaiwei's 1 wisp dead spirit sword array was about to cut Mu Qingying, just at this moment, 36 green flying swords gathered to form a giant sword. It blocked the fine lady immortal's attack. Each of the flying swords crisscrossed and slashed. Gong Tsaiwei's sword array suddenly broke this green flying sword into a disordered heap. But at this time, Mu Qingying already vanished without a trace. Not good. Just as Gong Kaiwei was about to use a magic weapon, the savage light of the double sabers already brushed towards her neck. The child and mother-linked heart's needles seized the chance to stick into the acupuncture points of Mu Qingying's body. In spite of the child and mother-linked heart's needles being far from comparison to the tyranny of a martial general's destined weapon, the efficacious star was an expert in medical arts. These child and mother-linked heart's needles had incomparable timing and accuracy. This prick immediately made Mu Qingying's speed slow for an instant. This instant was too precious to Gong Kaiwei. The immortal hero princess waved her snow-tracing sword and broke apart Mu Qingying's sneak attack. Careful! And Suwen threw out a silver pill. The silver pill transformed into a galaxy that suddenly unfolded, entirely blocking a wide-area attack. Gong Kaiwei was startled. She nodded, indicating to the efficacious star her thanks. The two drew close. Mu Qingying sneered. A man walked out from a corner at this time. He hid his own appearance, wearing a Taoist robe that obscured his affiliation. But the aura he gave out was nevertheless full of foreboding. Backstabbing is rather difficult to avoid. The Most High Path honestly plans meticulously. Gong Kaiwei sneered, having already discerned that the man before her was the investigative star's star master. The man's whole body jolted, somewhat shocked Gong Kaiwei had guessed his identity. He made a low chuckled, "Since you know, then you must die. A person who hides himself dares be savage." Gong Kaiwei coldly said. Bing Qingxian did not reply, only striking several hand seals. All of a sudden, 3 differently colored and shaped short swords flew out. The 3 swords made a triangle formation. The space seemed to be locked down, and a formless killing intent immediately stabbed painfully into their skin. And at the same time, Mu Qingying's 3-star flowing frost moon shadow also flashed pure cold light. The assassin hid into the open air, her presence thoroughly vanishing. Immortal hero princess, today you will be buried here. Bing Qingxian ruthlessly asserted. The 3 blades were the earth sword, dark sword, and the yellow sword. The 3 swords assembled. An earth light, dark light, and a yellow light simultaneously manifested. The entire passageway was awash with a severe beating. Gong Kaiwei's flying swords were surprisingly suppressed into a return. And Suwen hastily activated life-returning magic hands. Gong Kaiwei grimly flipped her wrist. A jade porcelain bottle appeared, and imbuing it with her star energy, a rainbow light suddenly flowed out like a galaxy from the bottle's mouth, weaving into a canopy that enshrouded her and Suwen within. Aurora bottle. 5. Bing Qingxuan's eyes glinted. This Aurora bottle was but one of the extreme Ice Holy Palace's 3 great sect protecting spirit treasures. The battle stored the heavenly rainbow aurora that could attack and defend. In attacking enemies, it could be unstoppable, yet its defense was also top-notch, easy without being shaken. Such a good thing. If I were to obtain it, then I would practically be a tiger that has grown wings in these star duels. When Bing Qingxian saw this, the thought of throttling the immortal hero princess grew even more intense in his heart. Bing Qingxian also raised several powerful attack-type magic weapons to twist apart that aurora. Mu Qingying wielded her double sabers, dazzling without any fancy cuts. The 3-star destined weapon was valiant, each cut making the aurora crack. Gong Kaiwei did her utmost to maintain the aurora bottle, her complexion increasingly wan. Elder sister Gong Kaiwei, do you want to go back first? And Suwen's complexion changed, but upon seeing that Mu Qingying's star master already used 3 strange short swords in an array to tightly seal the space, even if they wanted to run, that would be considerably winding. Gong Kaiwei did not answer, yet her eyes did not have a trace of the intention to flee. Her ice and snow-like pupils merely had an indescribably chilly killing intent. And Suwen surreptitiously clutched her heavenly spirit astral treasure, searching for a chance to use the 7 stars birth sword. The aurora canopy was increasingly frail. Seeing them bitterly persist, Bing Qingxian smirked. He had many magic weapons and powers left behind by supercluster ancestor cultivators. With investigative star Mu Qingying, Gong Kaiwei, and Suwen basically could not possibly be opponents. So long as this aurora broke, the two would inevitably die. However, for the sake of preventing sudden changes, Bing Qingxian then used an all-out attack on the aurora. How could they when the aurora bottle was an immemorial spirit treasure? To break it was not that simple. Thinking quickly, suddenly Bing Qingxian keenly sensed someone was close by. He had inherited the investigative star's perception. Very quickly he could sense that the newcomer's speed was increasingly pressing. This is bad. Bing Qingxian spun around, his supreme clarity flying swords returning to protect his front. But how could he have anticipated that figure would do the unexpected and disappear without a trace before charging into the flying swords? Qingying, look out! Bing Qingxian shouted. A cold and detached maid instantly appeared in front of Mu Qingying, her fists wielding countless sparks of yin and yang. Although Mu Qingying already sensed her, she did not expect her counterpart's attack speed to be so quick, to unexpectedly exceed her perception. Extreme realm? Mu Qingying's heart skipped. Dark karma became a specter that was about to hide her in space. How could she have foreseen that yin-yang carps would leap out of the fists of that woman wearing a maid skirt? The warm and cold light rays were just like a swimming dragon, unexpectedly seemingly alive as it seized Mu Qingying. No. Mu Qingying's expression changed. Then, an endless boxing technique of samsara loomed over her. A groan. Investigative star unrestrained Mu Hong nearly disintegrated under the boxing technique. Fortunately, Bing Qingshuan's flying swords protected her, and only then did she break free of this misfortune. In Yang Pisces' fists, Bing Qingshuan's nearly split open. In front of him was a pretty and aloof young girl. Her back faced Bing Qingxian, and she wore a maid skirt. Her exposed snowy back had a blossom-like tip. Her vermilion pupils were like the 10,000-year-old ice of the poles. Elder sister Little E. And Suwen was overjoyed. The newcomer was skillful star wanderer Yan Qing. Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi swiftly moved towards Black Turtle Temple's deepest level. Black Turtle Temple's most important valuable was the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill. So as to avoid other people becoming early birds that caught the worm, the two were making extreme haste. They did not have the desire to go see the valuables that were along the way. However, Su Xing's flying swords suffered the resistance of the seawater, making them considerably slower than normal. After reaching the area of the middle layer, this sort of pressure was even more clear. Zhang Yuqi was like a mermaid, her snow-white body quite dazzling in the dark depths. She turned her head back to look at the Su Xing left behind her, covering her mouth. Young Su, shall Yuqi carry you for a ride? Go first. Su Xing shook his head. To be carried by her, white stripe in the wave's speed would also turn slow. They could not necessarily be any faster. Zhang Yuqi smirked. She turned and was about to jump into the depths. An enormous rumble. Several waterspouts suddenly sprung in Zhang Yuqi's surroundings. Several grotesque creatures in the water appeared, and a giant bubble was about to swallow Zhang Yuqi. The damaged star was first astonished, and then she smiled. The white water mirror heart glowed, and immediately, a blue light shot out that ran through this bubble. Several more bubbles swam over at this time. These bubbles were strange, completely made of water and shaped like demon beasts. Their attack was produced by water magic. Fortunately, Zhang Yuqi was a martial general in water. To deal with this sort of water magic was very easy. White water mirror heart glowed, when suddenly, countless bubbles rushed forth. Zhang Yuqi was caught off guard, and she was attacked by these bubbles like arrows, tumbling uncontrollably down. The Su Xing who rushed over caught her, bringing Zhang Yuqi against his chest in passing. What is this? Su Xing was very confused by the thing in front of him. This is a water array puppet. Zhang Yuqi grunted. She broke free of Su Xing's embrace. Shooting a glance at him, she noticed that the body of this man in front of her was still rather warm in these depths. The Urgent Sea's white spirit python appeared and rushed into the middle of the array that Zhang Yuqi mentioned. Countless water puppets then rushed out, endlessly attacking the Urgent Sea's white spirit python. However, these water array puppets were very quickly scattered ash with opponents like the Urgent Sea's white spirit python and Zhang Yuqi. Zhang Yuqi looked around. Every sort of fearful cry came from their vicinity of the Black Turtle Temple. Upon a closer look, they were more or less water puppets. To other cultivators, these water puppets were extremely troublesome, and many cultivators suffered a calamity. This Black Turtle Temple's water array is actually very formidable. Su Xing secretly sighed. Should have thought of it before. How could that Hudy let go of this sort of opportunity? Zhang Yuqi softly smiled. Yuqi, what did you say, something about a butterfly? 6. Young Su, the array in this water has nothing to do with Black Turtle Temple. It was set up by someone. Zhang Yuqi warned. Who is this powerful? Su Xing looked. Everywhere in his line of sight, every sort of water array appeared. Those water puppets were even more endless, as if they were cramming the entire room. This sort of array was more powerful than star magic. It wouldn't be strange if it was full star jade flagpole Mengkong. Several blue magic circles floated around ranked 70th full star jade flagpole Meng Hudy's body. Her delicate hands held a completely crystalline treasure banner fluttering in the water with 5 flowing stars. One array after another entered the sea. This flag's name was Eastern Sea Crystal Blue Flag, full star Meng Hudy's destined star weapon. Soon after, a large portion of the sea already was covered in every sort of profound array. These arrays and the arrays that cultivators used were not the same. Every kind of water-type puppet gathered in the center of the array. Whether it be lions or tigers, whales or sharks, or boats and blades, although each was different, they were tigers that had grown wings inside the water. Even a powerful cultivator would unavoidably waste a lot of energy if they intruded into it. The Black Turtle Temple's highest priority was to rush to the Black Turtle idol in the deepest layer to seize the Dragon Snake Good Fortune pills. Furthermore, whoever's speed was the fastest appeared particularly significant. These endless water puppets that Jade Flagpole created could, by lucky coincidence, become the magic weapon of victory. Hudy, let us go. Jiang Xiu looked at the water array and showed a grin. With this many water puppets, the other Star Master perhaps would waste a lot of pipe. He looked to be the first to reach this Black Turtle idol. Meng Hudy nodded. Just as the two were about to leave, suddenly, the depths rolled with a storm. Space shook, and all of the water arrays were completely revealed. Meng Hudy and Jiang Xiu were stunned at the same time. Immediately, they assumed vigilant stances. A muffled noise. Several water puppets promptly disintegrated. A frost-fair blade of rolling devil chi appeared in their line of sight, and Jiang Xiu's face suddenly changed. Full Star Jade Flagpole Mengkong, you truly love to stir up trouble. Flying swords moved about unbridled in the depths. Countless puppets were twisted to pieces. An evil man appeared. When he saw Meng Hudy, he could not help but sneer. An extraordinarily heroic young girl also cut apart the array and appeared. Great Saint Starkiller. Brave Star Guanyin. Go! Jiang Xiu did not hesitate to shout. Thinking of fleeing? Great Saint Starkiller was disdainful. At once, he waved his hand without uttering a word. Suddenly, there was a clear ring, and several dozen starlight-like flying swords swam out like fishes from the void, becoming streaks of sword light about 1 chi long. They circled around in front of his body. Immediately, Great Saint Starkiller chanted and formed hand seals, rushing a bit at Jiang Xiu. All of the sword lights shook. The light of stars radiated, and one instantly became 7, multiplying several hundred times into unique sword lights. Slightly fluttering, the star-like sword chi practically filled half a sea, appearing like a dazzling galaxy, extremely astonishing. Jiang Xiu knew that the flying sword's Great Saint Starkiller favored was the renowned immemorial sword chant Heavenly Cycle-Changing Holy Sword, and he knew of its might as well. With a great shout, he suddenly raised his hand. Flying soul-scattered spirit swords simultaneously rose, instantly becoming countless black wisps of chi, directly advancing for a confrontation. His other hand held a pearl that was also raised. After pinpricks of green light flashed, it transformed into a green barrier that he protected his front with. Immediately, Jiang Xiu lowered his head and continuously flipped through hand seals. The black and baleful flying soul-scattered spirit swords each formed malevolent python-sized tendrils that penetrated into the super-void sword array of Great Saint Starkiller's Heavenly Cycle-Changing Holy Swords. The flying soul-scattered spirit sword, the Fiend Soul Sect, also has spent its capital. Great Saint Starkiller smiled. Both of their flying swords suddenly locked in battle. His own heavenly cycle-changing holy sword array unexpectedly had been locked down. Watch this. Full star Meng Huidi very quickly took action, shaking the Eastern Sea crystal blue flag. She used her yellow rank technique, fish back in water. The flag's countless scripts swam about like tadpoles. The star crest on Meng Huidi's forehead glimmered, reflecting with her masters. The waves rolled and countless water puppets were then created, bearing their fangs and claws, biting at Great Saint Starkiller with the maws. The purple brilliant moon slashing blades spurt forth purple chi, slashing from the front. It slashed and ripped. A 4-star destined weapon great blade, the water puppets completely were unable to withstand this. Guan Ying bit her lip, raising the great blade as she rushed at Meng Huidi. Meng Huidi continuously waved her banner. One water puppet after another appeared from the surroundings, attacking Guan Ying in an unending stream. Despite the brave star's extremely powerful martial force, the 4-star destined weapon in her hand even more exceptional, the deep sea hindered her power. She was far from as smooth and steady as she was on land. Even the Guanghan red hair was incapable of use underwater. Otherwise, even if the full star was a genius, she was incapable of withstanding the brave star. Guan Ying, today, you will starful. Upon seeing Guan Ying was entangled by the water puppets, Meng Huidi suddenly shouted. The 5-star Eastern Sea crystal blue flag's blue light glowed, illuminating several li of the sea. Even the surface of the sea surged with a blue mist. The full star's flag shook. An enormous rumble. A giant water beast awoke. Its body was large as a mountain, its mouth swallowing the heavens. Dark rank technique, sea swallower. 2. Does little sister say these words to make this general not hold back at all? Guan Ying slashed apart the puppet, and she coldly spoke. The sea swallower opened its mouth, and the water current madly rushed downwards. A black shadow flickered. Great Saint Starkiller defended in front of Guan Ying, his flying swords whooshing together to form a shield. Great Saint Starkiller's complexion was slightly pale. This sea swallower giant's power was far more tyrannical than he had imagined. Fish back in water. Meng Huidi continuously used her yellow rank. By relying on the deep seas area, the full star's yellow rank practically had no limits at all. A large water puppet was called forth. Jiang Xiu also wanted to seize the chance to see if he could dispatch the Black Turtle Territory's #1 star master. His most powerful attack magic weapon, soul-breaking platform, 3, was simultaneously used. Jiang Xiu, you also dare show off in front of this great saint. Great Saint Starkiller sneered. Suddenly, a bell hung above his head. Dang! A crisp and melodious ring. That instant, the entire sea area sunk into a mysterious realm of stillness. All sounds, noises, and even the flow of water stopped this moment. The second ring. Jiang Xiu's soul-breaking platform lost its edge and returned to his palm. Boundless bell. Jiang Xiu's complexion was extremely unsightly. Huidi, we are leaving. The moment the boundless bell appeared, Jiang Xiu then knew that regardless of what happened, he could not possibly kill Great Saint Starkiller. Thinking of escaping? Great Saint Starkiller pointed, and the heavenly cycle-changing holy swords pursued. A large water flow bubbled forth that obstructed his flying swords. Great Saint Starkiller turned his head to see that the full star still waved her flag. Although the countless puppets and arrays she created were unable to budge under the boundless bell, the dark rank technique of the full star's 5-star destined weapon could not be helped. Damn it! Innumerable water arrows shot over. Guan Ying at this time raised the blade already to slash Meng Huidi. The latter retreated, once again shaking her flag. Never expected Great Saint Starkiller would be so quick to use the boundless bell. It seems you are merely so. Jiang Xiu chuckled. He pulled Meng Huidi, the both of them quickly escaping under the protection of the sea swallower. Several minutes afterward, the sea swallower was slain by the combined efforts of Great Saint Starkiller and Guan Ying. Seeing the full star had unexpectedly escaped from under their noses, Great Saint Starkiller's gaze was extremely cold. This great saint shall see just where you can run. Dang! Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi headed for Black Turtle Temple's deepest level when they suddenly heard a clear bell sound in the murky depths. Su Xing immediately recognized this sound. Great Saint Starkiller is unexpectedly using the boundless bell right now. Su Xing's brow wrinkled. They're already very far away. Let's go first. When Zhang Yuqi heard that the bell was already increasingly farther away, she knew some Star Master was already rushing before them, but those puppets the full star created were truly a headache. The endless puppets were near invincible. Although their martial force was not strong, tangling with them was ceaseless. Do you want to drink seemingly drunk and stupefied? Su Xing said as he looked at her. Seemingly drunk and stupefied? Zhang Yuqi winked. Bai Yutong appeared against Su Xing's chest. Her fair hands cupped dreamless. Even in the deep sea, the scent of alcohol could be smelled. So cute. Zhang Yuqi was entranced by Bai Yutong's fairy-like and cute eyes. She reached out to pinch her. Su Xing seized her groping hands. This is my daughter, don't mess around. Do you want a drink? Why do you want Yuqi to drink wine? Could it be you want to make Yuqi drunk to help give you a blowjob? Zhang Yuqi grinned. Could you not mention the word blowjob in front of my daughter? Su Xing was speechless. Papa, Tang Tang can give a blowjob. 5. The innocent Bai Yutong did not understand the meaning of her words, pitifully speaking. Zhang Yuqi stifled a laugh. Su Xing ruthlessly glared at Zhang Yuqi. The wine that the rat star brewed? Yuqi definitely wants a taste. Zhang Yuqi snickered. Her red lips slightly parted, and she poured herself some wine from Dreamless. Her cheeks were flushed, and Zhang Yuqi immediately became charming. Tang Tang, we've troubled you. Su Xing tenderly smiled. Bai Yutong showed a sweet smile. She was not accustomed to the deep sea, and after making Zhang Yuqi drink seemingly drunk and stupefied, she entered the star nest. What an incredible alcohol content. Zhang Yuqi looked at her white palm. Her body seemed to have endless strength about to bubble forth. Su Xing more or less explained seemingly drunk and stupefied's benefits. It was a pity that only 1 cup could be brewed per day, otherwise, several more cups would be truly unrivaled. Zhang Yuqi had the Urgent Sea's white spirit python return. She jumped up, beckoned to Su Xing, hooking with her finger. She made Su Xing also mount the snake's back, and countless puppets already rushed over. Zhang Yuqi flashed the white water mirror heart. Blue light from her fingertip pierced all directions. All rivers reach seas. A blue wave marking like a ripple undulated from her ring. In a split second, all of the water arrays and puppets were torn apart by a powerful whirlpool. Under the stirring of the light rays, the water array and puppets disintegrated in succession. Go! Zhang Yuqi commanded. The Urgent Sea's white spirit python broke through the water like a sharp sword, like a white shooting star. All rivers reach seas was unstoppable. Combined with the Urgent Sea's white python tearing through everything like dry vegetation, she ripped open a bloody path. By doing so, Su Xing became much more relaxed. Gong Sun Huang sat on Su Xing's shoulder and tugged at his clothes. Su Xing lifted his gaze. Gong Sun Huang suddenly pointed at a place. Following the direction she pointed in, there was a black and obscure murkiness several li away. However, he could see clearly in the waterflow that place had countless water puppets battling with other cultivators that had entered the Black Turtle Temple. If it was only this, Gong Sun Huang would not purposefully indicate to Su Xing. Su Xing looked and listened. Amidst the countless voices of battle, there came the sound waves of a lion-like roar. That sound was especially ear-piercing. This sound, Su Xing frowned. Yuqi, go take a look over there. Su Xing suddenly said. Zhang Yuqi was confused. Seeing that Su Xing's face was somewhat grim, she did not say a word. She made the Urgent Sea's white spirit python change direction. Like a white arrow piercing the waves, very quickly, they saw a young woman in a pink skirt struggling in the middle of innumerable water puppets. That young woman's movements were somewhat funny. She opened her mouth and expelled a sound wave that shattered the water puppets. Only that these water puppets were honestly too numerous. The girl clearly was somewhat unable to persist. Why is female tiger Gu Deseo also here? Zhang Yuqi was stupefied. Zhang Yuqi could not understand. As everyone knows, the Black Turtle Temple was extremely dangerous, and it was even located within the deep sea. Star generals that were normally of extraordinary of martial force would not necessarily dive in search of treasure, much less the 101st ranked star female tiger Gu Deseo. With just merely water puppets for now, the female tiger already was somewhat unable to persist. Just as she was in wonder, a figure beside her already rushed out. Young Su, Zhang Yuqi said in shock. Su Xing did not reply. Zhang Yuqi's brow wrinkled. Seeing Su Xing so grave, she even thought that Su Xing was preparing to go kill female tiger. After all, after the Black Turtle Temple began, most of the Star Masters were on the path to the Star Duels. However, Zhang Yuqi also knew Su Xing's personality. She thought to herself this guy probably was thinking of using the classic hero saving the beauty plot. Truly boring. As expected, he was not outside of her anticipations. Su Xing immediately arrived in front of female tiger, shooting out a large purple mansion immortal thunder barrier. Zhang Yuqi could only follow him upon seeing this. Su Xing, the already very exhausted Gu Tong, was somewhat in despair. She had never thought that she would be nearly destroyed by these countless water puppets before even encountering a Star Master inside Black Turtle Temple. Just at this moment, she saw Su Xing suddenly descend like a divine soldier. In that instant, Gu Tong thought that she was seeing things from being in heat. Only when Su Xing's hand seized her by the waist and leap away from an attack did she realize this was real. Just as Gu Tong was secretly fuming about Su Xing's hand that took advantage of her, those countless water puppets already launched an attack. Tightly packed water arrows whistled forth, surrounding the pair. Blue light suddenly flashed. A giant white python appeared at this moment and rolled over the puppets. On the white python was slender young girl with golden twin tails. Countless splashes burst forth, breaking the water arrows. Not needing any time, most of the puppets in the water were destroyed. Young Su, your desire is truly insatiable, to even not let go of Gu Deseo. Zhang Yuqi winked. Young Su? Unfaithful man. Gu Tong snorted. I haven't even taken care of you. Su Xing was helpless. Zhang Yuqi's face slightly blushed, not knowing whether to be happy or shy upon hearing this. Can you take your hand away? Gu Tong actually was resentful. Only then did Su Xing notice his hand was still wrapped around her waist. However, the girl completely was able to break free on her own. Perhaps she had forgotten. Mama! Bai Yutong once again emerged from the star nest and hopped into Gu Tong's bosom. She buried her head into the latter's plump breasts, making Su Xing dry cough for a while. Zhang Yuqi was confused. Gu Tong, why would you be in Black Turtle Temple? Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi had the same thinking. With female tiger's status and strength, she honestly should not have appeared in Black Turtle territory. Why must this old lady not appear? Gu Tong was displeased. Mama, Papa is only concerned about you. Bai Yutong miserably widened her innocent eyes. Gu Tong's poker face immediately crumbled. Her face flushed and she tenderly said, Has he bullied you? Tang Tang. Bai Yutong shook her head like a rattle, making Gu Tong smile. Don't tell me the others also came to Black Turtle Temple? Su Xing asked. Of course they came. Gu Tong matter-of-factly replied. Are you all idiots? Su Xing shouted. Gu Tong was taken aback, very surprised Su Xing's tone would be so heavy. She pursed her lips, a considerably grieved expression. What are you so mad for? Do you all want to die? Right? Do you also want to obtain the dragon snake great good fortune pill? Young Su is so serious, he truly cares about you. Zhang Yuqi was deadpan. Of course we have no interest in the good fortune pill. Gu Tong naturally knew that Black Turtle Temple was not at all a place they could come to, but they could not help the unexpected. Zhang Yuqi saw they were wasting too much time chatting in this place. She first rode the Urgent Sea's white spirit python towards the Black Turtle idol. On the Urgent Sea's White Spirit Python, Gu Tong explained everything from beginning to end. Originally, after Su Xing contracted Tang Tang away, Gu Tong made a decision after careful consideration with the sisters in the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. Selling off the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion, they sought aid from the Black Turtle Sea's 3 Ruan's water fort. It was just by chance that at this moment, the 9 Dragons aromatic cart of the 9 Dragons Palace made them surprised. However, Su Xing actually did not feel this was a coincidence at all. Come to think of it, 9 Tattooed Dragons Shi Jingluan was in the vicinity of Yellow Crane Island. Encountering Gu Tong and the others on her way back was not odd. The 9 Dragons Palace's influence was very tremendous. It was just that the 9 Dragons Palace in the Star Duels was rumored to have only 2 star generals. Even if Shi Jingluan was a formidable heavenly star, 9 star weapons at hand was hard to contend with the 3 Ruans. Since she had run into 6 sisters, Shi Jingluan naturally invited them. Recalling that Su Xing spoke of Great Saint Starkiller stirring up trouble in the Black Turtle territory, Gu Tong and the others agreed to go to the 9 Dragons Palace together. Afterwards, the Black Turtle Temple opened. Shi Jingluan forced you to come to Black Turtle territory? Su Xing's voice chilled. Gu Tong heard the fury in Su Xing's words. Her heart had an indescribable sort of delight, yet her expression still was a wooden board. No, Queen Jingluan actually did not force us. But since we 6 stars rely on the 9 Dragons Palace for aid, of course we cannot live under her charity. The Black Turtle Temple, we discussed coming together. It would be good if we can obtain the Good Fortune Pill, but if not, the Black Turtle Temple's rare treasures and other materials will do. Gu Tong and the others made every sort of preparation, but they did not expect to encounter such enormous numbers of water puppets. The Black Turtle Temple is in the deep sea. If you run into Great Saint Starkiller, you won't be able to run even if you wanted. Su Xing shook his head, feeling the decision of Gu Tong's group was not at all wise. The star duels began at this moment. The 6 entered the halls, and the odds of danger could well be imagined. Many thanks for your concern, but we are not as weak as you imagine. Gu Tong was displeased. Even if we starfall, so what? We long have already made plans for starfall. What is a star master like you worrying about this old lady? Truly baffling. You are Tong Tong's mama. Young Su worrying about you is very inevitable and right. You are conceited because you in someone else's good graces. The first half of Zhang Yuqi's words made Su Xing feel particularly comfortable. He felt that Zhang Yuqi quite cared about him. Just as his heart was feeling good, White Stripe in the Wave's second sentence made Su Xing very much want to bid her dead. Careful that young Su makes you give a blowjob. Zhang Yuqi, you blowjob woman. Su Xing smiled and cursed her. You dare. Gu Tong's face turned red, and she puffed out her chest. We're going to the Black Turtle Idol right now, what do we do? Zhang Yuqi asked Su Xing. That boundless bell rang in front of us just now. It's clear that Great Saint Starkiller is up ahead. This place's puppets have been destroyed, so there shouldn't be any danger. However, who know if the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole from behind? Tonga, do you want to go back first? Mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole from behind. Gu Tong actually remembered something, and then she earnestly said, You truly are a very intelligent man. Truly, something like this can happen. For the sake of thinking of Tang Tang, I feel it is better for you give up on Black Turtle Temple. Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi glanced at each other, feeling Gu Tong was implying something. Just as they were about to ask. Just at this moment, suddenly, a biting cold rainbow fell into the deep sea. In the pitch-black depths, it appeared incomparably dazzling. That crimson light spread just like a ring of blood, making the pitch-black sea turn dark red like blood. Immediately afterwards, another streak of blood light fell down. The Black Turtle Temple was bathed in a blood red from all directions in a split second. Su Xing, Zhang Yuqi, Gu Tong and the others were simultaneously startled, their faces pale. 2 starfalls. 9 tattooed dragons Shi Jingluan wielded a blue dragon hidden chain. She then raised the heavenly spirit astral treasure, 9 dragons aromatic cart, and very quickly pierced through the Black Turtle Temple's final heavy water area. Her line of sight saw a hall that was enormous without compare. The middle had a black turtle figure facing each of the 4 cardinal directions, with its 4 heads and 4 mouths. The mouths flowed with a stream-like radiance. In the surroundings of the black turtle figure was a pond. This pond rippled with blue waves, dense mist rising in spirals. The Black Turtle Idol. The Black Turtle Temple's final layer, and legend said that Black Turtle Idol's 4 mouths were capable of spitting out the famed dragon snake good fortune pill. As far as uncontracted star maidens were concerned, the dragon snake good fortune pill could be said to be a divine item. Shi Jingluan relied on all sorts of precious treasures and spirit medicines to promote her cultivation and star energy greatly, but compared to other star generals that had signed contracts, she was still too slow. If she could have the dragon snake great good fortune pill, she would not be at a disadvantage facing those peak star generals' star masters in the future. Shi Jingluan swept a finger across her pondering lips. Seeing the treasures in front of her, Shi Jingluan nevertheless was unworried. Rather, she leisurely stopped the 9 dragons aromatic cart, stepped off and just happened to see a flood roll several hundred meters away. 3 rays of golden light and 3 frightening water beasts emerged. The 3 beauties were each everlasting, and they were the Jin Ping Mei sisters of the 3 Ruan's water fort. Ruan Jiner also spotted Shi Jingluan. Her gaze turned stern. As far as this opponent's star general of the Black Turtle territory was concerned, Ruan Jiner did not show any hostility at all, nor did she show any fear. Her expression only had an unchanging indifference. Little sisters Jiner, Pinger, Mayer. Jingluan pays respects. Shi Jingluan stopped in front of them. Ruan Pinger enviously looked at that 9 dragons aromatic cart that repelled water and fire, secretly envying that 9 tattooed dragons. Shi Jingluan's luck truly was good to unexpectedly obtain such a good treasure from a purple star treasure chest. Shi Jingluan, what are you thinking of doing? Ruan Jiner was expressionless, a green light faintly glowing in her hand. Really, Fort Master Gina. I merely wish to chat with little sister Jiner about this Black Turtle Temple. Shi Jingluan said. What is there to chat about? There is only one dragon snake great good fortune pill. Elder sister Jiner, we shall fight her. Ruan Pinger was impatient. Ruan Jiner did not bat an eyelid. Pinger is still so impatient. Shi Jingluan shook her head. Ruan Jiner knew that what Pinger said was fact, but she did not initiate a fight. She knew that fighting no would only benefit Great Saint Starkiller, the Zhang sisters and others. How about we join hands? Shi Jingluan's eyes narrowed. We all have not contracted a Star Master, and even founded influences in the Black Turtle territory. We can be considered to have a connection. In the future star duels, we are on the same side, any way it is put. What does Fort Master Jiner feel? Join hands? How do we join hands? Ruan Jiner was neither warm nor angry. We 3 Ruans are 3 heavenly stars. In the water, even Guan Ying would be gone forever. For what reason would we want to join hands with you? Ruan Pinger laughed aloud. Ruan Jiner was silent, indeed a meaning unto itself. It would be better to kill you right now, than break through the rest one by one. Elder sister, what do you feel? Ruan Mayer also said. If little sister feels the 3 Ruans can contend against all star masters, then treat Jingluan as if she did not say anything at all. Shi Jingluan was neither fast nor slow, her expression considerably gentle. These words made the 3 Ruans say nothing more. Explain how you would join hands. Regardless of how we are, in the end, there is only one dragon snake great good fortune pill. Ruan Jiner calmly said. This is very simple. We will first work together to defeat all star masters. When only we are left, then we will see each other's tricks. The loser's wholehearted acceptance is always better than being taken advantage of. To be the fisherman who gets the snipe and the clam, is that not so? Shi Jingluan self-confidently replied. She smiled. In addition, I hear the 3 Ruans and the Zhang sisters have become enemies and offended a star master that possesses the birth treasure outline. Although I do not know the identity of that star master, to be able to possess the birth treasure outline, For Master Ronjiner ought to know just how dangerous he is. Minute star 9 Tattoo Dragon's words hit the nail on the head. Her hidden intent was that compared to her, the three Ruans had far more enemies. This already was not a request but an answer she could not refuse. Ronjiner's gaze flashed with an odd light. Sure, Jingluan, have you actually made such a decision? Of course, I have said we are kindred spirits. Sure, Jingluan smiled. Since ancient time, we ought to have been in the same boat. Ronjina muttered to herself. Fine, we agree with you. We shall join hands to eradicate the other Star Masters. Sure, Jingluan smiled. Suddenly at this moment, two red shooting stars fell one after another into the depths. In the pitch-black sea, they drew a shocking path. Then, their lines of sight were entirely a blood-like red. Sure, Jingluan's expression suddenly changed. Double starfall? Palace of Empress Hua. The afterimages of Yan Yizhen's fists were continuous, the lights of yin and yang intersecting, endlessly suppressing the ancestor's specter. Bing Qingshuan's flying swords continuously pursued to attempt to attack Yan Yizhen. Those short bangs, pupils cold as ice, that posture wonderful as dancing and attack was impeccably calm. Yan Yizhen was like a falcon shuttling back and forth swift as lightning. Even if she was occasionally forced into a dead end by the attacks of the flying swords, her nimble silhouette was sufficient enough to save her and still constantly suppressed Mu Qingying, making her unable to break free. Yin-yang carps. Mu Qingying merely felt this was only the blink of an eye. That cold and detached figure arrived in front of her. The deep radiance gathered into ice-cold and fiercely ripped, bringing a black light to the eyes of her target. Mu Qingying leaned to evade this attack, her eyes filled with lingering fear. Such a terrifying person. The girl's double sabers slash changed into a horizontal sweep, squarely chopping the enemy leaping into the air. Even though she had made mental preparations to use her weapon as a buffer, Yan Yizhen's tyrannical attacks still were not to be underestimated. Under a powerful impulse force, Mu Qingying's body suddenly was tossed several meters away. The instant she landed, Yan Yizhen's attack immediately followed, launching without any pause, without any leeway. In the next second, Bing Qingshuan's flying swords blocked in front of her, a lightning flash cutting open space. Immediately, they suppressed Yan Yizhen. Yan Yizhen then punched, the lights of the yin-yang carps crisscrossing on her body. Sweeping aside the flying swords, the darkness seemed to resonate. The air ripped apart, suddenly revolting. The sharp blade drew a bright, long line in the air. Yan Yizhen's eyes burned with an ice-cold flame. Suddenly, her hands clenched, and all of her strength concentrated into her hands. Her murderous aura seemed to be substantial. This was the posture for a full-power attack. The next instant, Yan Yizhen struck. Her fists become a yin-yang dragon, ripping apart the palace and engulfing the ruins, pouncing towards Mu Qingying with a roar. Not only this, after releasing this powerful strike, Yan Yizhen did not stop her movements at all. Rather, she continuously chopped with her palms in an assault. Each chop spurt forth lightning. Within a second, at least 100 attacks were wielded. Qingying! Bing Qingxian shouted. A blood-curdling scream. Mu Qingxing could only close her eyes. Immediately, her figure was sunk under the boxing technique. Mu Qingying's double sabers blocked, but Yan Yizhen's fists were extremely fast. Fast as quicksilver, her whole body sustained attacks on every place. Ice-cold and scorching hot power pierced into his bone. Mu Qingying only felt her soul about to shatter. Her body disintegrated, and she was unable to persevere, disappearing with incomparable indignation. Bing Qingshuan's head hurt, and he was shocked. Mu Qingying already fell into the star nest. Liked it? Qingying! Bing Qingxian hoarsely shouted. He had never thought that the investigative star would unexpectedly lose her life. Yan Yizhen did not say a word, did not stop at all. She then attacked Bing Qingxian. Although she had struck investigative star Mu Qingying back into the star nest, the Star Master was still present. The investigative star could still revive again. Bing Qingxian cursed to himself that this was shameful. He pointed a magic weapon, and 2 green short swords suddenly multiplied in size. The blade's edges had strange inscriptions, clear light lingering. Cold rays flickered, intersected, and carved towards Yan Yizhen's neck. This treasure was named Beheading Flying Dagger, a magic weapon that previously belonged to ancestral master Su Wangshuan. When these daggers emerged, they pincer attacked from the left and right, twisting along their paths at a level to behead someone. Even if you wore armor, they would cut through iron like mud, their might endless. Yan Yizhen halted her body techniques, her palms like hooks forming the taiji. She nimbly danced left and right, the light rays and flames of yin and yang exploding. The skillful star grabbed, and the beheading flying daggers were seized by Yan Yizhen before they could cut into the maid's neck. The flying daggers cried endlessly in Yan Yizhen's hands, their edges constantly flowing in an effort to break free. A powerful force made Yan Yizhen have no choice but to halt her advance. Bing Qingxian showed a resentful expression. He wanted to take revenge for Mu Qingying, and his flying swords were just about to seize the chance to attack Yan Yizhen. Suddenly, his whole body felt cold. Glimpsing white clothes out of the corner of his eye, Bing Qingxian was shocked, silently shouting, "Oh no!" He did not know when Gong Kaiwei had undone the aurora bottle. In her hand was the snow-tracing sword, and with a profound pace, she gracefully arrived. That sword in her hand of cold light stabbed at Bing Qingshuan's chest. Bing Qingshuan's protective clear light was pierced through by the snow-white sword's tip. Sword light transformed into a blue dragon bearing its claws and fangs. A soul-imbued flying sword. Bing Qingxian spat a mouthful of blood. Run through by the dragon, Bing Qingxian was worthy of being the most high path's secretly nurtured star master. If it was any other cultivator, being attacked by Gong Caiwei's soul-imbued sword qi, perhaps they powerless to reverse the situation. Bing Qingxian nevertheless used both hands to firmly grab the flying sword. His palms were soaked in blood, not at all grim. Gong Kaiwei coldly twisted the sword. Bing Qingshuan's face nearly contorted, and the flesh of his palm was twisted apart. Although he tasted suffering, he finally grasped an opportunity. Bing Qingxian did not hesitate to use the outlaw jade pendant, and his figure became smoke. Instantly, he disappeared from within the palace of Empress Hua. To be unable to dispatch this despicable assassin in a single strike, Gong Kaiwei showed regret. To think that there would still be an assassin in the future star duels, Gong Kaiwei felt very uncomfortable. "Elder sister Little E, are you all right?" And Suwen breathed a sigh of relief. With quick steps, she reached Yan Yizhen's front and activated spiritual aura distribution, healing her wounds. Yan Yizhen shook her head. She spread open her palms. Those magic weapons unexpected were crushed to dust, disappearing into the wind. Gong Caiwei's eyebrows rose as she bowed and said thanks. Then, without another word, she turned and walked towards another corridor. And Suwen saw this. And then she rushed with Yan Yizhen to the highest floor of the palace of Empress Hua. At this moment, time already was not plentiful for them. Great Saint Starkiller and Guan Ying pursued full star Meng Hudy with an all-out effort, but their opponent was a water general, like a fish back in water so long as they were in the ocean. She waved her flag, making countless puppets that were endlessly killed yet greatly hindered the speed of their pursuit. Needless to say, Meng Hudy already escaped from their eyes. The Grand Galaxy Cultivator unexpectedly escaping before his eyes made Great Saint Starkiller fill with fury. However, Great Saint Starkiller very quickly calmed down. He still had something even more important to go settle. "Young master, where are you going?" Guan Ying wrinkled her eyebrows when saw that Great Saint Starkiller did not go in the direction of the Black Turtle Idol. To go find the other Star Masters. The 3 Ruans, 9 Tattooed Dragon, and even that Li Juntu, and the Zhang sisters definitely are at the Black Turtle Idol right now. We have no need to rush there now. Those good fortune pills are not so easy to take. Great Saint Starkiller slightly smiled. That smile was as splendid as when Guan Ying first saw him, but for some reason, the brave star's heart felt a chill. Then, is young master preparing to wait for them to fall into internecine strife? Great Saint Starkiller nodded. Now, we will go find the fishes that escaped the new, This great saint fears that many star masters have come to the Black Turtle Temple. Just as he said this, Great Saint Starkiller was taken aback. He chuckled lowly, "Speak of the devil." Great Saint Starkiller's rising sword flew, and Guan Ying followed. Not long after, Guan Ying saw two young girls were currently frolicking in the Black Turtle Temple. One wore a white qipao and leisurely strolled in the sea, while the other girl indifferently drank wine and broke apart several puppets with several punches as they searched for something. Seeing these two were not at all powerful sisters, Guan Ying's heart sunk, and she stopped following. Li Balian and Shi Meng currently searched for materials in the Black Turtle Temple. They were only wandering around the area outside of the heavy water without any worry. The most important thing in the Black Turtle Temple was the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pull. All the Star Masters that came here were entirely for the sake of this objective. They thought of course no one would stop at any other place to waste time. But they were not divine mathematician Jiang Shui. They were without the ability of foresight. Reality was not as simple as they thought. Suddenly, a black shadow attacked them. Li Balian and Shi Meng counterattacked without thinking. The attacker was odd, without flying sword arts, not using any magic treasures. Neither could they see a star general in accompaniment. This person seemed to have pounced over looking for death. Li Balian snickered seductively. This fighter wants to dive into Elder Sister's embrace, but Elder Sister is not so easy to take advantage of. As she said this, Star Weapon Cold Night Desolate Kill came out and sprinkled white wine. The other side screamed. They fell into the trap as expected. White Bone's wine splashed on and suddenly rend the attacker's flesh. The protective star energy was nearly completely wiped away by White Bone's wine. Shi Meng coldly snorted, thereupon waving a fist as heavy as Mount Tai landslide. This punch was precise. This cultivator in front of them that did not know the immensity of heaven and earth inevitably would die horribly with regrets under this attack. Shi Meng's sneer disappeared. Ugly Star Stone General was shocked to sense that although her punch was fatal, she was far from pulverizing her opponent. Supercluster Late Stage Cultivator? Shi Meng was shocked, astonished to see that demonic man show a triumphant evil grin. This smile instantly passed, but it made Shi Meng endlessly palpitate. Suddenly, the opponent screamed, and his body floated backwards like a kite that broke free of its string. Shi Meng immediately felt a powerful danger surround her. Without hesitation she shouted, "Balin, run away!" What? Li Balian was even preparing to use poison wine. When she heard Shi Meng's words, she froze on the spot. Just at this moment, the seawater suddenly rolled, ripped apart by a powerful force. "Quickly run!" Shi Meng's foot stepped, her cloud-piercing rock-splitting boxing gloves in hand, preparing to use her dark rank boxing to kill her foe. Before her fists had even waved, a frost fair blade already blocked her front. Cold light glinted, and an evil chi turned dense, one slash sending her flying. Her eyes were dazzled. Guan Ying did not have any room at all to think, slashing immediately with her great blade. Shi Meng's fists blocked, her body skin turning into stone. The 4-star frost fair blade was wrapped in boundless cold, and Shi Meng's defenses became more laughable than paper. A chill slashed past her body, bringing an unopposable promise of death. Brave Star Great Blade Guansheng. Quickly run. Shi Meng was pale, her consciousness fading, immediately starfalling into Maiden Mountain. Shi Meng. Li Balian's seductive appearance was immediately replaced by alarm. The Cold Night Desolate Kill bottle was raised, and Slave Star Life-taking Judge did not shrink back in the slightest as she poured out White Bone's wine. Slowly, white mist flooded this area of the sea, corroding star energy. "Why do you not run?" Guan Ying shouted in a low voice, her hands unable to control her movements. The unrivaled's intimidating aura exploded. The frost fair blade was like a hot knife through butter, and the White Bone's wine was devoured by the blade chi. Following on its heels was blade chi that surrounded her body. Li Balian also instantly fell into Maiden Mountain, a starfall. Double starfalls. Great Saint Starkiller fully enjoyed the power of 2 crimson stars, but his expression was not at all relaxed as he stared fixedly at Guan Ying. 3 devil stars twinkled on the frost fair blade. The torturous black chi wound around Guan Ying like an accusing ghost. The brave star was unconcerned, letting this pain linger about herself. A long while after, Guan Ying finally regained her calm. When she lifted her gaze, her eyes were full of a deep gloom. Truly, this great saint did not expect there would surprisingly be 2 star generals. Great Saint Starkiller feigned lingering trepidation. "Young master, you must be all right." Guan Ying walked in front of Great Saint Starkiller, expressionlessly spitting out these words, somewhat mocking his act. Great Saint Starkiller hesitated. "This general is unfettered. Only sacrifices can achieve hegemony. Inga understands." Guan Ying smiled. This smile nevertheless made Great Saint Starkiller drew in a breath. "Inga, you cannot let emotions affect your decisions." Guan Ying nodded. "It is about time. We can go to Black Turtle Temple," Great Saint Starkiller said. The Urgent Sea's white spirit python became a white arrow piercing through the sea. Zhang Yuqi's expression was grave. She looked at Su Xing quietly saying, "Young Su, Yuqi fears those starfalls were." Su Xing sighed and shook his head. 2 starfalls at the same time. Most likely, they were star generals of the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. Su Xing turned his head back to look at Gu Tong. Female Tiger appeared to have foreseen what had happened, for her face became exceedingly solemn. Very quickly, the Urgent Sea's white spirit python reached the area of the starfalls. At this moment, that place already was empty and swept clean. Zhang Yuqi sniffed the air and wrinkled her brow. "There's a disgusting devil chi." This was Guan Sheng's doing. Gu Tong asked her. "Most probably. Rumor has it that Guan Sheng's weapon has been embedded with a 9 nether devil star stone, purportedly very formidable." Zhang Yuqi said, "Not very clear." Gu Tong's knuckles turned white. Su Xing saw that she was apparently enduring the fury in her heart. He wanted to say something consoling, but Female Tiger shook her head, gazed ahead and used a sound transmission. "This old lady does not want your consolation. As far as we are concerned, starfalls are no more than a return to Maiden Mountain. This would have happened sooner or later, but do not tell anything to Tangting." Female Tiger did her utmost to maintain her expressionlessness only because she did not want to hurt Bai Yutong. Su Xing nodded. "Thanks." Female Tiger softly said, her tone softening. "You should take the other sisters back for now. Guan Ying, I shall deal with her." Su Xing said. Seeing Female Tiger's eyes were somewhat stubborn, Su Xing said over sound transmission, "I know you don't fear starfalls, but there's no need for you to throw your life away. I don't want to let Tang personally see you starfall." Su Xing's words were ruthless, however. Only these sorts of ruthless words could make the Female Tiger wake up from the hate she had fallen into. Gu Tong looked pensively. She bit her lips and said, "Su Xing, so long as you can kill Guan Ying, I will then serve you. Don't use your life to make a deal." Su Xing shook his head. "This will only make your remaining life fall even deeper into suffering." Gu Tong and Zhang Yuqi were taken aback. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.